your Bluetooth thing and put this on it and connect it. Real fast. It's already on. Compare device. Let me see. Hold on, give me 1 minute, y'all. Oh, right there. That's it right there.
I need to turn it on.
It's already on. It's already on.
I don't even hear. I don't even see a light.
You don't gotta see. Ay, ay, ay. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right, go back. There we go. Click it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up with it, y'all? Came in this thing. Chill out on this Friday night. Chop game, smoke a blunt, and do what we do. You know how it is. I think I just named it mind open because I think you got to kind of keep an open mind about things, the way things is going. Because man, I said I was tripping off that today, like telling myself, like, dang, like when like why we be what, like we worry about other people's doing stuff or how they do it. It's like how you get around that. Like we like worrying about how this person is doing this or how that person is doing that. Like it shouldn't even matter unless it's interfering with what you doing. It's just like it's like you just bring more pain on yourself, more burdens on yourself, just worrying about others all the time, bro. It's a trip because you go around and you point out all these wrongs. It's like the authority to basically go and point out everybody that's doing wrong. This person's doing wrong. That person's doing wrong. I said, man, I said that's a burden in itself. And it's pointing out the wrongs of not just everybody. See, you're not gonna see the good that's going on. And like that's even when like if somebody's trying to point out the wrong in you, it's like they might not, but they might do. Just kind of listen to it. Don't even do the back and forth. If that's how you feel about me, hey, okay, so be it. So be it. Cause I can't change that. The only thing I can change is myself. That's why I guess whenever I'm in here talking, I always point it back to self, to us, and to yourself, the way you view in the world. Because that's what it's all about. Really, it's about you, and like your life is about you. It's everybody else is just a player in your life. They just part of the game of your life, but your life is like strictly about you. It don't you like period. Like it's always been that. Like we was talking the other day, and somebody was saying something about I think it was Theo or somebody about being selfish, and like I like that right there. It make me think because I go, I don't know nobody that ain't selfish. People try to act like they ain't selfish, but even when you helping somebody, you benefiting yourself because it gives you a certain feeling yourself. So it's like everybody is selfish. Like how you gonna not be selfish? Like everything that you do, every move that you make is gonna be about self because the self is the one that's doing it. That's in doing having the interactions. Causing the problems. Like the self is always causing hella problems. Like even problems that it ain't even gotta be in. It's like it's looking for problems. Like the self is always looking for problems. It's looking for something to be messed up so it can try to fix it. Like I said, dang, I was just tripping off that. Cause like even just being out in the world, being out driving or being out doing things like I see myself do that. Like if I see somebody driving kind of, weird or kind of swerving, I'd be like, oh, look at this shit. It's funny, but it's not funny because I'll see somebody swerving, driving slow or something like that. And in my mind, I'm like going, man, why they driving like this, man? We all supposed to be in a hurry. Like just because I'm in a hurry, I got to put everybody else in a hurry because I feel like I'm in a hurry. And then I always give them a pass when I pull up and I see that handicap plaque. Hey, hella stupid. I get up on them and then I see the handicap plaque and I'll be like, oh, that's why. That's why they driving like that. Like people can't drive at their own speed or something. Like, I don't know. You get into that though. That should have had you running around like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to fix and control every bit of thing that's going on. It's like, and then when you don't have control, you feel less of because you don't have that certain control. And it's like, dang, we can't control everything. We only can control ourselves. We can't. If somebody's doing something in a certain way and you try to you try to help them do it a so-called better way, they don't even have to accept that. They don't have to accept it. Like we'll get mad when we try to give people some knowledge and they don't want some so-called knowledge and they don't want to listen. Like that should have had you mad sometimes. You be like, man, bro, look, check this out. I think that's why they got the saying, they say don't feed pearls to swine. Like it goes further than just that. It goes further than just that because it comes right back to you. It's like almost like if you giving yourself to anybody or anything, let it be that. Don't look for nothing in return. Like even when you talking and you having conversations, like always don't look for nothing in return because we'll walk around and we'll act like we gotta be good because it's like if I be good, then everybody gonna be good to me. Now, just think what kind of shit that calls on your mind when you being good to everybody and then this person do you wrong or that person do you wrong. It make you feel like they ain't shit. It puts a burden on you. It puts a burden on you. That's why it's like, man, do what you do and just keep it pushing. You feel me, people? Because everybody's going to be who they is. You feel me? It ain't on us to change people. And, like, you didn't get that person life. You didn't bring that person into the world. But we want to try to help. And like half the time, we don't even know what type of help a person's need. But we'll still try to, oh, you need to take this. You feel me? You kind of skinny. Look, eat this sandwich. And I'm like, man, I got leukemia. I might have some. I'm just saying, bro. Let's see, it's all about you one time. Every other city we go, every other video, it's all about you no matter where I go. I see the same fractals, all the same fracks. And it's wild because once you start to see that, you'll start to see yourself how you even react in situations. Like okay, like it's certain times like on here, like on YouTube, like I'll be doing a video. I'll read one bad comment, right? And that comment will send my mind into oh man, people tripping again. And then I'll go to another comment to where they'll be like congratulating me or something like that, and I'll take it in the wrong way. I think that's probably why we in the morning when we wake up, the way we even take off and the way we build our day, we try to start it off in a good way. Because if you don't, it's like once you start that string of doing things, it can create a lot of bad shit. Like sooner, if you wake up in the morning and you mad and you angry, like once you create that anger that you're angry at, oh, the coffee pot not working or something like that, you're going to start seeing all the wrong things. You're going to bypass all the good shit that's happening. You only going to see the wrong. You're going to get in your car. The car ain't going to start on the first start. You're going, oh, man, look at this shit. You feel me? It's like we create bad situations for ourselves and for others without, like, not on purpose. We don't do it like some of us do. Some of you motherfuckers do that shit on purpose, but everybody don't do it purposely. It just be some shit that just kind of happens with just living life. You know, you stub your toe, you feel that pain, and you be wanting everything else to feel that pain almost. That's why when we get in bad situations, we go and we got to explain it to somebody. Oh, man, look, man, especially me, my boss, man, this person over here tripping, man, this person doing that. You like, in order to get an okay, you know, to see if, let me test your waters and tell you what's going on so you can have my back on what I'm saying. They not even hearing the other person's story. They just hearing your story. I said, man, we be playing some of the cruelest games on ourselves and then don't even realize that we just doing it to ourselves. We putting ourselves into these different states. And it's wild because these different states, they exist all over. They exist in every which way. You feel me? And we put ourselves in these different states. And I don't know why, bro. I mean, I know why, because I like it was a time to where I was trying to get rid of anger. I didn't want anger to like even be a part of my life. And then once you start going on, you start doing things, you see why you need that anger. Just a little bit. You don't need all of it. You don't, oh, what's up with it, Big Chill? It's what you make it. You create it. Yeah, that's the funny part, Big Chill. It is what you make it. You create it. And whenever we say that, like, a lot of people don't understand when we go, you create your own reality. Now, look at everything that's here, right? Everything is here. I'm not saying that you making a football field, but you design the football field the way you want to view it. You design everything like you kind of created. Like, I look at my relationship and I go, damn, I kind of created my relationship because I went from this person to that person to that person to that person until I got to the one that I felt was desirable or the one that I felt like was for me. And like, we do that kind of sort of with everything and not knowing that we creating, like, going through friendships. Like, when you think about the friendships you had over time, like, you met this person, oh, they did something foul, you shook them. You feel me? Then you met this person until you got to the one person that was like, man, damn, they're just like you. We was talking about this earlier. What's up with the green flowers? It's like it's almost like you in search of yourself, like, without even knowing, like, everything that I'm searching for, good, bad, God, I'm searching for myself. I'm looking for myself, the relationship, because I want somebody to be just like me. My friendships, I want people to be like me. When I find somebody that I want to mentor me and teach me something, you feel me? I want to take on that thing that they are. You feel me? So it's like almost like we almost searching for ourselves on a day-to-day basis in everything we do, bro. And it's like trippy. Cause like ever since it happens a lot. This ain't the first time, but ever since that last experience, I've been stuck in the oneness. Like, it don't matter what I'm doing. I had to go back. Whenever I get caught up in the oneness, I don't just take it for verbatim. I don't just go, okay, this is what it is. Like, I have to see, like, I want to go back and see all the examples and the things that make it this thing. And like, I'll go back and I'll watch a lot of movies or like cartoons or certain things, like with my son. Like, I like the last 3-4 days, like, I've been watching movies every night with Blake. And I watched what's the name, bro? I didn't know that movie was that hard. Like, I did when I first seen it. What's up with it, Magnamorphous? What's up with it, E.T.? But no, when I did, bro, I went back and I watched that last fucking Black Panther, and I said, bro, they put they fucking foot in this movie. Even the way that they did things in there, like, the lady taking the purple juice. Like, we all know what the purple juice is. Like, it's crazy how they took ayahuasca and put it in the movie and put a different name on it and a whole different spin on it. They took ayahuasca, put it in Black Panther, and showed you This is the way you see your ancestors. You think you can't tap into your ancestors? Hold on, look at this. They took the purple juice, you know, the dye, the acacia, whatever. They took it. She took it, and then she went in. And this was another big thing that played a part in that movie that made sense. When she went in thinking that she was gonna see her brother, who was the Black Panther, no, she seen the other dude. That you know, the one that tried to kill her brother, her cousin. You feel me? But he gave her some game. He said, you know, what you trying to do out there in the world, your brother wasn't doing shit like that. I made the moves that I made, I had to make in order to make things right, make y'all see the rest of the world, see our other people over here and our people over here. I have to do what I had to do. Now you in that position to where you have to go and kill Kukulkan Khan because he killed your mom. You looking for revenge. You ain't looking to really save your people. You looking for that little bit of revenge. And it's like, boom, but she got the one, she got him. And it was like, bro, that shit just has so many synchronicities. And it's been with everyone I've been watching. It's like, we don't think that these things are telling us this and explaining this life to us and giving us game on life, but all of it is doing it. Music, us, ourselves, because everybody's that's making these movies, they are us. They are us. They didn't, you know, learn history and all these other different things, and then they breaking it down to us, putting it in the movie, showing us what it would be like, well, what it is right there, bro. And it's like fucking crazy, but it's the dopest shit. Show us the no mind state. Yeah, I would call that hell yeah, the no mind state. That's the one where you just don't exist. Don't nothing exist. I think that's that pitch blackness, the no mind state, to where you just go into that blackness, that darkness, and you don't see nothing. You don't know nothing. Like you eyes don't exist. Mind don't exist. Nothing exists in that state. In that so-called state right there, nothing exists. And I think that's the nothingness, bro. That's the nothingness. And it's crazy because every time, you know, you come back, you got to build reality back together. You got to piece things back together because you won't get it. You be lost. You don't even know who you are, what anything is. It's like you just go blank like a computer screen when you turn off a computer. Like everything is still in there processing, but it's not computing. It's not computing. But I'm about to open up the Discord right now and see what they talking about in the Discord. In the cord.
It responds and reacts to what I define correcting error programming with thought of intent, of course, right? That's our mouse. That's our clicker, our mouse clicker on the computer.
I was just talking about the computer.
You ain't ready.
I damn sure ain't ready. I'm telling you.
I ain't ready either, bro.
I be thinking I'm ready until I go into God mode, and I be like, I don't want it no more. Give it to Theo. Give it to Theo.
Yeah, tag you're it.
Hey, it'd be like, you are Theo.
Yeah, it's like God mode goes on, and then all of a sudden, choices of options are represented. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying.
It's just kind of, I think the thing that I like about going into that mode is, like, I was watching the near death experience today. I meant to do a reaction video on it, but I had to go to work. But where the guy was talking about seeing his life on like these TV screens. And like a lot of us have had that, to where you'll see your whole life on these TV screens. But it don't just be this life, it be other lives that you live. And sometimes it be other people's lives. Like me, I seen like people like James Brown and like, you know, like other I don't know. Yeah, parallel to this life. Like he said, the lady was basically, he said they took him to this one big giant building, and it held like every human life memory that was in there. So like every story or whatever it was in there, and like yeah, he said they were watching the Cowboys fight the Indians back then, and he was like asking dude like, how is she watching this? And he was like, everything is recorded like that to where you can come into this building and you can watch that. But the trippy thing about it is a lot of us don't understand that all these timelines are on one timeline. There's really no past and no future. It's always just now. So everything just exists at one time in one time.
That's right. I call this source's core, where all existence is. Nobody has ever left the presence of God. We're always in God's core. It is like this. It's like I have the analogy of all existence, source's core, that some people call God. Is it like in one TV set that has the potential of all the channels and experience of events, like you're defining TV, like Windows, right?
Yeah.
So in actual fact, we are at home. We're just going through what I define as a type of simulation to to accelerate ourselves to basically
Yeah.
attain higher levels of awareness and ascension levels. So yeah, and you're right. Yeah, we're in one box, one TV set with all
Yeah.
these channels.
Yeah, like the you know how I always explain it though, bro. I always explain it like you being a dad, a son, a grandfather, and all these different things, and just inside a male, you being a male, and you being all these different things just inside yourself, a cousin, a brother. You feel me? You being all these different things, but they're all existing within you. Like you still that one entity that's taking on all these roles, and you play them accordingly to the T. You play them out so cold. It's like your sister won't ever wake up and believe you not her brother.
Yeah, and
It's like,
you're bang on with that though. You're bang on with that because I know this for a fact. Okay, many people's perception is sure, yeah, we do have the genetics of our blood related mother and father, but the only thing they knitted together, right, made is the machine. Okay, but the spirit soul spark that goes in, it's not really related. Okay, sure, we're all made by source, so we're brothers and sisters to that degree, but we have a different frequency signature resonance to our spirit soul spark design. Everybody does. Nobody has the same signature, but uh, our mothers and fathers perceived brothers and sisters, immediate blood related. You don't. Nobody knows what spirit soul spark is going to go in their child because that source is called decision. So in actual fact, the only thing that ties us is the genetics. If they're the blood type and the genetics, yeah, you're related. But I just see it like this. My mother, father made the machine, but my spiritual spark in there, they didn't make it. That was inserted by source, and that always has been around since the beginning of creation, since source created us, right?
yeah,
So in actual fact, I can understand like these elites are sick. This isn't something I would do. Is when they go into incest, I know they have a different type of intellect where they're more informed about the situation of everything. And the only way I can conceive somebody doing something like that is understanding that the vessel has been made from the same genetics, but actually the spiritual spark in there is not really related. It has a different signature frequency resonance. So everybody is a united, independent type of
it's
collective
it's, it's
creation with a unique
crazy, right?
signature.
It's
Yeah,
crazy because I think that's the illusion of it. That's the illusion of it, is that everybody has this separate thing, but everybody does the same thing. They just do it in a different way. Everybody love different, everybody hate different, but they still have those things. They still have the love, they still have the hate. They just do it differently than others.
that's
And
right.
when we close our eyes, that place right there, that blackness that you in, that you hear everything in, I think everything exists there. Like that's the connection we all have. Like that space right there, some type of way we all are connected within that space, whatever that energy is that's in there. Because you would think that life is like everything comes from the inside, bro. It comes from a body of something. Like nothing
Right.
comes from just like a nothing. Like you don't see just an animal just pop up. It comes from, you know, it comes from inside something. And that
That's
like
right.
a seed, you know, or like everything. And that inside is the thing that's constantly growing because it has like no beginning or no ending. So it's
And,
constantly
and
growing, it's constantly creating, it's constantly going. If I'm
that's
making
right.
any sense,
Yeah,
I
you're
feel like
making
I'm
a
losing
total.
my goddamn mind. I ain't gonna lie.
And
I'm with you.
you're gaining your mind. That's why you're having all these insights. You're not losing it. Yes.
Feel like I be feeling like I'm losing it because you know that like when I go outside and I look at the trees, like the trees ain't the same no more. The trees they alive, they alive and lit.
Have you ever had this? Okay, when you're stimulated. Okay, you ever look at a tree and it just doesn't look real? They kind of look. For myself, the last few times when I was stimulated on meth, for some reason I was observing the trees because I go off grid because I'd like to go off grid when I was out there to get my peace. Well, I live close to the mountains and actually the forest, not the mountains. But anyways, I'd go to various cities, and they always have, there's always trees around. Anyways, here in Canada, there's lots of trees in Vancouver and Maple Ridge. But I would be looking at the trees, and I'm like, holy shit, they don't look real. They just look fake, and they look kind of plasticky to myself. I'm like,
Oh,
this got to be. Have you ever had that experience
no,
where you was
no, that shit be looking like it's talking to me. I be seeing the
okay?
aura of the tree and shit around that
Yeah,
mother. Like sometimes I see it to where that shit look fake and it don't look real. But like
yeah.
that's the shit.
So
That's starting to be like everything. Hey, you know what's weird though, right? Because we can look at the physical stuff, right? And like we can tell the difference between people can tell the difference between a real Gucci purse and a fake Gucci purse.
Yeah.
but,
Exactly. Yes.
but we have a
Exactly.
hard time when it comes to these beliefs and these ideas.
Yeah, copies. That's what I define. You got to be careful in this sense because there's copies, right?
Yeah.
There's different dimensional. This is the best way I could describe it. There's different different dimensional copies. Some have more higher resolution, better computer system, and
Yeah.
some have like the old computers that don't have that much generation of good graphics, right?
Yeah. Hey, you know what's trippy though? What's not a copy?
Exactly.
What is not a
Exactly.
copy? Like everything is
The
a copy.
original.
There you go. There you go, Cryo. The
The original
original.
is a copy.
Yes. It's a copy of the picture that they posted in their mind when they drew it up before they made the shit.
That's right.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
So it's
The
still a
first,
copy.
the first one is the next one.
Hey, so yeah, and then yeah, man, what the fuck? Because even if it was a new design that you came up, it's still a copy of the first design. Like every
Exactly.
purse, no matter what it's shaped like, is still a purse.
The only thing original was nothing.
And some of these
Oh,
beings are aware in the system. Some, not all, but determining which copy you're in. There, some. You know what? Some copies that people are shifted into. It's like the whole Earth is a copy of all, like in the Matrix. They're all Smiths, and they're sort of working it.
yeah. I
Well,
think
I
I.
was going,
Oh, go ahead.
because I was going through this today. I was hella fucking pissed off today, bro. Hella pissed off
You want
today,
to
and
know
I
why
haven't
they?
let,
Oh,
I
sorry.
haven't,
Hold on,
and I
Cryo. Let
haven't
him
let
finish.
myself get
I
into
already
that
said sorry, dude.
mode in years. And so when I was in that mode, there's no end to it, right? Until you make that end, until you, until I consciously make the choice. This is actually, I don't have all the information here. I'm operating on, I'm going half-ass here. I'm not putting all myself into it.
Yeah.
And so
See.
that that separation is allowed. Why? Why is the separation allowed? Because everything else is allowed. There's n-
That's-
there's not a consequence for doing something what we call bad, bro. There's not a
man.
consequence. There's only a consequence if you get caught by somebody who's stronger, faster, or more smarter than you.
Yeah. You know what's
And that's the
trippy?
way it is.
Somebody told me today. They said, "Man, I feel like I never, I never can do enough." And I was like, "Damn, what if everybody feel like that? Like I'm never good enough. I'm never strong enough. I'm never rich enough. I'm never poor enough. I'm never."
Well, that's what happens in this separation is we can see that, oh, Drew's taller than me a little bit. Oh, Wild Man Ninja's a little bit shorter than me. Oh, there's this in relativity with separation, you get relativity. Oh, higher, lower, bigger, smaller, good, bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
But
you
is
just
that
build
true?
on that.
Is that true though? Because it's the same pixel designing everything. It's the same
Right.
molecule
This is what
designing
I'm.
everything.
Yeah. So dark, light, evil, good. These
Some
things
people
are
call
only.
it dark. Some call it a light.
Yeah. Look out into the sky and how much light. Look out into the sky on a nighttime. How much dark do we see versus how much light do
How
we see?
much dark do cats see?
Well, yeah, I've seen this guy.
Sally.
I'm gonna tell you
No,
what.
we.
Now this. Go ahead. Go ahead with your segment there.
A valid
Yeah.
amount of
Add
light.
something.
We call. I think we call dark something that UL was trying to say, like, when does pain. What did he say? He said something about pain. Pain is telling you something, and if you don't pay attention to it, well, what's going to happen? Well, that's kind of like this darkness, right? We know that, well, through trial and experience, we can see certain how things work out, and then we'll ascribe a word to that effect, and then expect it to always be like that.
Yeah.
Whenever.
Either way, it's a Gucci purse though. Whether it's fake or real, it's still a Gucci purse because it's still gonna
Who's
be
doing it
people
wrong?
rocking it. Still.
What a tie.
Yeah, but
Hey,
I can
hey,
tell you
Drew.
what.
You can, you know what, you know how you get it though. All you gotta do is, UL. I know you've seen it. Watch that movie Elemental.
Hey, hey, True.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah.
Hey, True.
What's
This is
up?
what Thoth said. Are you a brother of darkness or a child of light?
Uh,
So you got to pick.
But
yeah,
but
but
we have within us we have both though. It's part of the package deal. It's like we got the
That's
double I got.
Yeah, if
yeah,
somebody comes up to me and tells me I got to pick, well then they've got a
The only
certain
thing you're going to pick is not them.
investment. They've got an investment in asking me the question. They're trying to get me to do something. If
yeah.
they knew what was going on, they would have no questions because they already know the answer.
Cause if you choose, let's say you choose the light side, right? And you go against the darkness, the so-called darkness, which we created and we said was dark. You got what the fuck? That sounds fucking crazy when you think about it. Cause it's like, okay,
But
if I pick the dark side, I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna still be fighting something. I'm gonna still be like creating death and creating destruction because I'm gonna want that evil to cease and to stop.
oh, I see now. It's like the body is darkness.
Yeah,
The
sometimes I be
body
feeling
is
like that.
the body is darkness, but
And like,
you switch in light, but the switching around is the light part. But the body itself, oh well, see, they say
Or
that. Well, okay,
well,
they
let
say
me.
that only with their eyes that we can see.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, hey, wait, hold on. Well, let me use my Theo voice. You feel me? I think that's. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say because I used the Theo voice.
You know what? I gotta write things down because I wanted to interject something, but so much information flies around. But how about this? How about if this whole ascension process is to alchemize the light and the dark, and like in Star Wars, not a red lightsaber, not a blue, but mix them together and get the ultimate lightsaber
And
where
get
you
the
can't be.
ultimate light. I think that's what we
Yeah,
working. I ain't gonna lie. I think that's where life, because I think life is being life, and it's working itself up to something. I was like, that's what I feel like. It's evolving itself into something, and it's probably evolving itself into creation. You feel me? Like I said, bro, we ain't been created yet. We not even here yet. You feel? We ain't gonna be here for another 2 million years. Then we gonna
no,
create.
not that long.
About another 2 million years, then we gonna create this. That shit ain't even it.
By the time we leave here, we'll have our own copy Earth, and we'll be flipping in and out of dimensions, having a pretty good time.
Yeah, we do that right now. You feel me?
Yeah.
You ain't been in the dimension of Christianity or the dimension of Islam or the Buddhist dimension. We
Or the water body dimension, the earth body, the
the
mineral
earth body. Yeah. We traveling all the states, all the dimensions. We trying to touch them all and use them to our ability. But I think this life though right here, like when we in this one right here, bro, like as any other one, you're in it. Like you in it, you be in that little fractal in it.
I know. You're right.
But everybody want to get away from that. No, this ain't it. This ain't. We gotta be over. We supposed to be over there.
There's so many channels to access. This is just like entry level. Basically, I call it prehistoric caveman level. What we
But
have here.
but I like what makes this like probably one of the dopest levels is the fact of you can see everything in this life. You can see
True.
like the good and the bad, the light and the dark. You able to see it and experience it at the same time.
Yeah, but wouldn't
But
it be nice just to be able to step into any channel dimension fully and just experience it? The different levels.
yeah,
There's a lot of levels. A lot of levels. I'll tell you, experience I had for myself. I could basically go like for myself. I don't need to be using stimulants to trip anymore. And has anybody? I want to ask something first. Has anybody had days where they feel like they're just high on something, but they're not high, like just feeling kind of euphoric
yeah,
and feeling
Sure.
feeling the dark
yeah,
and the light. It's always there, part of the package deal. But since I quit everything, it's like the system's trying to inject myself. I call it with the chemical demons of choice that they want to give me the experience of. So in actual fact, I said this before. So what are the stimulants? They're like gatekeepers, guides. That's what basically are. They open up doors, and then you get all this information flooding in, determine what being to that level is assigned to one as the stimuli of information happening. So, anyways, I'm going to return to this. I was laying down in this room here, just well rested. I had my eyes closed, so sometimes I could see through my eyes closed. So what happened is the channel changed. Okay, and it looked something like the Tron Legacy movie. It was lots of black with the doorway here was all outlined with this like light, white light. And what happened
yeah.
was I became aware on top of myself about, I would say,
So
10 feet high. About 10 feet high was all these plates to this I guess channel that I shifted to. They look like armadillo plates. So already when I shifted there, I
oh
knew
man,
I could open them with my thought of intent. So there were like huge metal plates shutting down this channel. So what I did was I opened up all these plates with my thought of intent because I just knew what to do. And what happened is all these vortex portholes appeared. About how many was there? There must have been 7 in my awareness, and they're
dang,
about 4 feet wide. They were vortexes like uh, rope how it's weeded, the thick rope,
yeah,
like that, but they weren't spiraling, they weren't spinning or anything, and they appeared after I opened up those plates. I guess it was locking down the system on that channel, but that's where it ended. And then I was like, holy shit. And I wasn't even asleep. I'm like, I realized there's so much to be experienced where sometimes we access it through a proper frequency synchronization, right?
Yeah.
So that's just one of many things that has happened to myself. But wouldn't it be something just to maybe experience those portholes and be able to go there and just jump in and out and jump back? That's what I'm defining is we only are getting a fraction of what
Yeah.
really can
I
be
mean,
experienced.
if you think about it, it's like sometimes I feel like we experiencing it. Like I said, we just experiencing it all at one time, and defining it. The individual defines how or what they feel like the experience should be.
A
Yeah, we're
a
experiencing
singular.
the singularity through our personal perspective, our personal opinions, our personal memory.
Yeah.
A singular. I was
Yes.
wondering, can you go back to that day and figure out was it? I mean, because sometimes, like I was saying before, that about the vortex. Sometimes it can happen, with the clouds, because when those clouds are there, those behind the clouds that we can't see, there's a vortex. Now, because when I'm under a cloud, I can feel it. When this happened, I'm able to get in like transmission or contact with the entities that's inside me, because we're
Yeah.
within inside of us. We're like vortexes within inside of us that's spinning. So when I'm like right now, there is cloudy right now, and right now I could tell you, uh, the mushrooms are here. No, see, they just shook my head. No, it's the universe. No,
Huh.
see, when there's clouds above me or anywhere in the on this planet or this realm, uh, there's these entities that contact you. Now, see, I was like thinking that if you go back to that day that you were talking about, was there any clouds in the sky that because
There
this
might have been.
usually okay, because this usually happens.
Clouds.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
okay?
What are the
Remember
clouds? Why
true?
you say clouds in the sky?
Well, because okay, remember true that you were talking about. There was a you know there that one time one of your videos you were speaking that the clouds opened up and there was a vortex in the cloud. Remember that?
Yeah, kind of,
And
sort
okay, because on that
of.
okay, because in them clouds, I mean, it's some okay, it's something that we're connected within inside ourselves with them clouds with the cycles within them clouds that's connecting us within ourselves. The same thing, just like the sun, because I'm doing that same exact thing. Because when I'm walking outside without a hat or when I take my shirt off, I'm instantly connected with this advanced being or
Or entity.
very advanced, yeah, entity, or I'm connected to it and I'm talking to it with the sun, within the sun. So
Now,
the same thing with the sun is happening. The same thing with the clouds in the sky with myself. With
So
myself.
the same thing.
So
Don't do the same thing happen with people or with the mushrooms?
yeah, with the mushroom. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, with the mushrooms too. That's the same thing happened with me with the mushroom. Now, but when it's cloudy, I can talk to the mushrooms when it's cloudy. When the when the clouds is dark, I can speak to them. I can talk to them, or I can do a like a hand gesture that I like was saying, and I'm instantly talking to them. And it's the golden teacher, the golden teachers, and the other these typical mushrooms. And I'm instantly I'm talking to them. So I'm like saying that if singularity, if there's any like that day, if you go back to that day, I mean, because it is now. If you go back, can you remember if there's any clouds in the sky that
I'll be
can?
hon- I'll be honest with you. There might have been clouds, but it was at nighttime, so I didn't really go outside the house after that experience till the next day. What?
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
add something.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. I want to
was
add
waiting
something.
for y'all two to
information.
talk.
One
I
minute.
ain't gonna lie. I was waiting for this. Said this is about
Because
to be interesting.
I mean, well, see, because I mean, right now, I can tell you right now, I see light. There's clouds in the sky. I'm looking at some light, and I can tell it's like specks of light right now. I've seen some specks of light,
Yeah.
and when clouds are above my head, because remember when clouds are above my head, it's like I can talk to the mushrooms, the universe. Okay, yeah, right now
Yeah.
the universe that I'm connected to right now. I could because there's clouds over my head right now as I speak. There's the universe right now I can speak to because I could call on any entity or any advanced race if there's clouds or anything or above me. I can contact them due to them
Yeah.
clouds in the sky. But you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
them
due
clouds
to
in the
that,
sky,
it's like a beacon almost.
yeah,
Okay.
like a
And
beacon.
singular illumination was about to say something too.
I
think
got
he was
a
about
question
to
to
tie
ask you.
something in.
Then I'll add some more.
Okay.
So where do you perceive all these clouds are an experience of events?
It
Where
just
are they?
came to me. It just came to me. Look, I mean, everything just came to me. It's like without me even knowing.
So I
It
got
just,
let me
I
represent
mean,
to you. Go the question
uh
differently. Are the clouds
okay.
really up there, or are
See,
they
that's
from
exactly what I'm saying. It's within myself.
is the sun really up there, or is it
Ah,
thoughts
That's
of
exactly what
projecting
I'm
them?
is
saying.
it? Is it?
It's
Is
within
it? Is it
myself.
really up there? I don't know.
Or would you have the
See,
Maybe.
same
but
connections with
that's
the clouds
exactly
if
what
you
I'm saying.
didn't?
See, you see what I'm saying?
What'd you say,
Yeah, because
Exile?
That I
let me
mean,
Exile.
with
explain.
the cloud behind the cloud, behind that's the thing that we can't see, like the vortex. Exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
Behind,
what are
okay, we can see the
Hey,
clouds in the sky with these eyes,
Exile was
but
trying to
behind
chime
that,
in too real fast.
Yeah.
okay.
Do you think you would have that same connection if you hadn't built the connection?
Ooh.
one
Oh, say that
possibly
again.
could? I'm gonna get to that.
Do you
One
think
possibly could.
do you think that you would have that same connection with the clouds if you hadn't spent time and energy putting that connection to fruition?
Yeah.
Um, in a way, I didn't even have that type of connection until it's something that's told me to look up there. Something within myself kept on pushing my head up. So
Oh.
I didn't really even have that connection. Every time I would look up, it was like, okay, certain things that would come to my mind. And not only that, I would always have okay, you remember I was talking about the sun, right? Because when I take my hat off, they would say that I get these downloads. Now,
Uh,
when I get the down, okay, it's like it has something to do with the sun, because every time when I take my hat, I start to vibrate. And once I stop vibrating, that's when I'm connected, and I get all these downloads from the sun.
and what type of downloads?
Uh,
Do it
see,
be
that's
like
that.
information, or do it be
Yeah,
like
okay, it's like okay, hey, true. It's like okay, you get on your computer and you download something, right? And
yeah,
once you download something, you have it. That's what it is.
yeah. Oh shit, that's crazy though,
That's what it is.
because
That's what it is.
it's almost like like when you take psychedelics, you get all these
Uh-huh.
different downloads, but you don't understand
Yeah.
them until you go back and
Well,
actually open the app.
Exactly.
and start to play with it
Exactly.
and like
That's exactly.
fucking with it. Now you can see it and it's like, oh
Now
shit,
you can see
okay,
it.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's
That's
deep.
how I feel. That's how I feel. Because once I
Ooh,
get
that
these
gave me
downloads
tingles. That
and
gave me
everything,
tingles.
and see, that's what
That
I'm
gave me
thinking right
tingles,
here.
bro. That's crazy. That's crazy because I seen it being done a lot of different times where I went in and I seen certain stuff, and then like until I opened that shit up and viewed it again and like played with it, it didn't make sense. Like I don't know, that's fucking crazy.
I was, hey, Drew, I was asking the son that, am I getting information? Well, this is what it shook my head. No, because I've been telling you guys that all this head shaking, no and yes and stuff, but
Yeah,
it shook my head. No, I'm not getting information. I'm getting downloads to be that, to be like, okay, I was afraid just 3 minutes ago. You download something on the internet, and then once you download something on the internet, that's what you get.
yeah,
That's what you are. That's what you're gonna be, or that particular information, or not information, but you got it. It's like it is what it is. So,
yeah. It's there. It's there
it's
for you to
there.
use it whenever, and it's crazy because once you download it, sometimes I'll get downloads and I won't see them until I'll be watching a video or somebody in here might say something, and then it'll come back and it's like, see, like that's what this meant, and it's like, whoa, bro, I got you exactly.
Right there, exactly. So now I'm seeing just like what you guys are talking about. I'm seeing different. Okay, with the mountain. Okay, I'm seeing Halo like the mountain. That I'm getting that just the other day. I'm getting that same thing. The what you call it again? The dome. I'm seeing
Yeah,
different dome images, but dome in different type of things now. Like in the ceiling, I'm seeing that. Don't. Okay, in
right here.
videos or okay, the movie. What's that movie? Because I'm seeing this stuff in movies too now. Uh, Dome images in the movies. They showing this dome image. Okay, that picture that you showed the other day of how the dome looked. That same picture was on the Marvel movie
Yeah,
when they
You
went
know what?
through space.
You know what
And
that dome is?
what?
The dome is the pattern of neurons. We actually see the neurons firing in our brain at some time, and it overlays a geometrical grid.
Damn.
That's in my experience. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because we are that dome. There's nothing
yeah,
outside of us actually.
Somebody said it's the firmament.
You
So
call it what you
where?
want.
Same thing.
About it.
It's like same
So
thing.
I'm
Same
gonna
thing.
I'm gonna add to all this. Yeah, you're right. It is. What I want to add to what was just being translated as his experience. Okay.
Yeah.
In actual fact, those vortexes you're feeling, you are the vortex. So
yep, that's right.
w-
That's right.
you are the vortex. So whatever you're perceiving else, this is what I define many times on some videos that I have made, is there's nothing outside ourselves. Okay, there's nothing out there. What we are seeing and perceiving as this experience is our copy digital holographic thought code projection. So in actual fact, well, when one realizes, if I was to ask somebody here, so where's your portal where you're going to go home from? Well, it's right here. It's within our vessel. We have our body, and with that, the screen of experience that I define as our copy Earths. So in actual fact, all the channels, all the experiences, I perceive them as basically doorways, doorways to gateways, doorways. Well, how do you access them? Well, what is the mushroom trip? What is a marijuana trip? What is a meth trip? Or what is a heroin trip? Vice versa. What is a caffeine trip? Where they're all frequency resonance doorway tuners, frequency tuners accessing one to that perceived stimuli that is actually a frequency resonance within a certain level within the channel, or sometimes a complete channel change ship. So any experience anybody has had can re-upload that program and get it running. Even mushroom trips, I've done it with nicotine when I wasn't smoking. I can induce myself to a nicotine, so-called stimuli. It's definitely these. I call them crystal meth demons. They always try to shift me into crystal meth land, and I don't like it. I don't like going there because there's some place that channel I don't really enjoy. But any experience somebody has had, all they
I'm
need to do is
sorry, I didn't mean to laugh, but I'm like,
no worries. Any any experience trip anybody has had, if they go review and trace that program and upload it and get it running again and really focus on get it running again, well, away you go. You already have, everybody already has the programs of experience of events to all stimuli they've ever experienced or any other feelings or vortexes or channels. It's a matter of being aware to tune into that frequency field aware and just uploading that program again that somebody has. So what you're
no.
defining, you communicate with the sun. Yes. Okay. Everybody has. I define it. You're communicating with your dragon. The sun and the moon are actually the dragons that teach people wisdom and knowledge. This is where the dragons come into movies where they have a lot of wisdom and knowledge. Well, the ones that are properly done. So what is the dragons? Well, the dragon would be perceived also the snake in the garden, that where Adam and Eve were blind to everything until they ate the apple. Maybe they smoked some meth or took some mushrooms. Maybe it wasn't an apple. So the serpent. After that, the serpent
Those are
really,
great.
yeah, the serpent notified them, made them aware and focused of information they didn't know before. So did they get really kicked out of the garden, or was it part of the process of the exile process out of the earth for one to go on their own united, independent journey with darkness and
When
light
you
source
when
rather
you
than
think
humanity?
about the like when you sometimes when I think about the snake going up the spine, it makes sense.
Yeah, because ain't you remember I was saying that same thing, that one day I seen a snake just floating around my head.
Yeah.
And at the end of the tail, I seen how the tail looked like shaped like a pyramid. And it was just floating around my head. And at the same time, it was transparent and it had some designs going through it, this particular snake. And when the snake left, it left in the back of my neck.
Oh wow.
I seen this, yeah, I seen
Yeah,
this
I
snake
remember that.
I seen this snake 2 times. And it floated around my head, transparent snake that had some designs going through it. And
Did it
as
look?
I was looking,
That's the
and it left, it left in the. I seen it like when it was leaving, but I was looking at it on the side of your provisional vision. And
yeah. I
as I
always
was
I what's the name, bro? I seen that. I see the snake every time I go in, like that grid or whatever that thing Exile is talking about. Like it'll zoom me all the way out, and I see that. I can see it. I can see the snake in the grid. I thought somebody was standing behind me. Hold on, what the
Truth
hell was
that the last bit you made, where you defined you were seeing gears and those tentacles with those types of fans on there. I've seen those tentacles with the fans. I actually touched one of them. I touched it with my was my like I shifted out of my body and actually touched it. I could talk about that experience, but I want to expand more.
Yeah.
What you're actually seeing, those gears you're seeing, you're basically entering the dragon. You're in the sun moon construct of the dragon that's teaching you, and it is like a black hole with gears that conditions people, right? Lots of
Yeah.
things going on in that. So basically, you're entering your dragon when you go to those states. When you're seeing the gears, lots are going to be revealed to yourself and major conditioning.
Yeah, that shit is no, it's wild, right? Because I remember the first time fucking seeing the dragons. The first time I seen dragons on the experience, and it probably wasn't the first time, but I just remember it so well because of the way it happened and the way it showed me. Because it was these two dragons flying towards me like this, and like it looked like they coming towards me. But they're in place, just kind of just, doing like a wave, going up and down like in a wave. And then they would change from that to being the dragons that they be having in the Chinese parade, in them parades. Those dragons where it be hella people up under them. And then after that, it'll change to like a little cardboard cutout that was shaped like the stop sign. But it was a gesture holding it. and like ever since then, man, I'm telling you, a lot of stuff that I thought I was seeing, I was like, man, there's something in there. These gesture things and other things that are showing you stuff. And like, you'll pay attention to that and it won't even let you go past. It's like they're like almost like gatekeepers to your mind or something to keep you out of there. So it's like, I'll show you this, and you once you see this, you're going to go, oh, it's supposed to mean this. You're going to pay attention to that, and you're not going to be able to push past it.
Right, and you're bang on. It's exactly, they're like it's like a video game. All this ascension is like a video game within one's mind, and they need to get certain information and be enlightened with wisdom and knowledge to complete that level, and then the locks, I call them unlocking features, getting upgrades to the next level. So once one derives information and experiences it and has been informed about it, and they're enlightened by it, oh yeah, for myself, whenever it gets stagnating, I'm kind of not kind of awarely sometimes defining, okay, I want to go to the next level. I'm ready, right? This is done. This is a done deal. Let's move on. So it is really up to yourself if you want to activate the next levels and you're experiencing the same thing and you want to go to something, the next level, preferably, then you just ask your dragon, basically, that is part of your mind. So where all this is happening is in one's mind. And it's exactly, best analogy is like a video game.
It's wild because like when you think about that, like you like I notice this when I do things, like the way I look at a person is the way I feel they speak to me. So if I think you always talk, like crazy, every time you talk, that's what it's gonna sound like to me. It don't matter what it is. If you talk with a soft spoken voice and I think you like got that, that's what it's gonna feel like to me. It don't matter what it is. So it's like, even though people are doing things, I'm still viewing it in my own way to where that's not even it. That's not even it. Now you take it a bit further, and then we got these other entities that are these things, the same as these things, but we put them in forms ourselves. So it's like weird because it's like, bro, it's all you, bro. That's the only thing I can tell you. I can tell you it's all you, and like, I think that's a formula. Because if you can accept that formula and look at it as that formula, you'll go, damn, I'm God. I can make the clouds speak. I can make trees speak. I can make people speak.
And sometimes you don't want that. You don't want that responsibility.
Yeah.
Because you've been worried about your memories your whole life. Not what's available, not what's potentially going to happen. The who knows, the unknown. We have so many words for that void space.
Yeah.
Akash.
That lets you know right there it's us, because we got so many names. We call it God, we call it Jehovah, sometimes we call it Satan, we call it all these different names. And it's still talking about that same thing. But then just because I put a different name on it, it'll make me different than you. Because the name I put on it is just it do different things than the name you put on it. I'm just
When you say the name, I think of it like this.
Yeah. And that brings you back to the dark and the light that you was talking about, Eric B. It bring you back to that going, you feel me? If you on the dark side, you're going to look at the light as being the dark side. If you on the light side, you're going to look at the light as the dark as being the dark side. I mean, you feel me? It's going to be both ways. It's like fucking crazy, bro.
Exactly. Adversary.
Yeah, the adversary. I said that and it freaked me out. Look, let me just get this out. It freaked me out when I finally seen the fish, how they got the yin and the yang fish, and you look at the yin fish, the yang is black and it's white, but if you look at the eyes of the white one is black and the eyes of the black one is white.
Vice versa, yeah.
So The one that's playing the good side is looking at darkness. The one that's playing
all it
that's
sees.
being the good side, yeah. The one that's playing the bad side that they say is bad is looking at goodness because it's thinking, or man, bro, it feels like it's doing something good.
That
Or
also is representing the mirror of feedback of both sides. So
yeah,
one reaches the stage to get the enlightenment from both, and then one eventually shall realize, hey, it's not really light and dark. How about if I fuse them together and get the whole picture of what it
Can't we,
actually is?
yeah, can't we see through feeling?
hmm.
That is key element. To be in feeling would be a different state of being in the sensitization.
Well, if we can see through feeling, that gives us um an idea of what pain is used for.
You
Pain
know,
has pain has its
hey, check
own
this out.
language too.
It's like feelings is another state of vibration. Now, I it's like when somebody's feeling like okay, because I noticed this too, because I look at people, especially on the top of their heads, because every time I vibrate with people and everything, and when a person is happy, I vibrate with them, but it's the same. When a person is upset, it's the same. Still vibration. It's still, everything is still is spinning,
Yeah,
but it's like a different, uh it's still it's still vibration. I don't really think
It's
there's
just
no
a different
difference.
spectrum.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, different spectrum. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. So what's the difference between pain and bliss? They're just tuned to different frequencies.
Well, it's how we're accepting them.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's just us going. This bliss is different than that bliss.
So in
Don't put
actual
it in
fact,
that hole.
so in actual yeah,
Yeah.
so in actual fact, pain could be tuned to bliss, and bliss could be tuned to pain, determined by one's perspective. But also, I define as one can't be
Yeah.
deceived any further. Then they tune the reality, and they don't allow other people, places, and things to tune their frequencies. So defining, yeah, that's where it really all ends and begins when one starts tuning their frequency fields of choice, that is the feeling of energy states, and tuning their frequency fields to the channels and the
Hey,
experience to that channel, the laws of physics to that channel. So, in
and
actual fact, somebody could be high as a kite all the time when they attain this, if they so choose, to any state and condition they want to, or are familiar with, I should say, because for one to tune to a certain frequency, they have to have had experienced it to have that, basically that application program, that upload or download.
yeah, but see,
Copied
that's the
copied into
that's
your
the
hard drive.
yeah, that's the crazy thing, right? Because everybody is doing that. Everybody is doing that already on the grand scale. Like
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, and it's like this. The simplest way I could put it is sing your own song. Don't join in and sing other people's songs that you don't want to sing. If somebody's singing a good song, good frequency field, you want to go to that, tune into it. But if
Yeah.
somebody's not aware, somebody's singing the song of sadness and they come around and one doesn't know how to know about frequency tuning their resonance, then automatically, if one is just idle and lay and it's not aware, somebody sad comes around, it's like a plague and a virus. That frequency will affect the person who's not aware how to stabilize their frequency field to choice. So yeah, it is interesting, but it's also could be very deceiving. This is where people think they're empaths. No, you're only an empath because you don't know how to tune your frequency reality and stabilize to your choice. Just because somebody's sad, I'm not going to be sad, because why would I want to be sad? I could understand why the other person is sad, what they're going through, but I've been there, done that, and I've realized I don't enjoy that energetic state. So
Yeah. But it's
possibility is all I could do is give some advice and move on, or do what I can do to assist, if so assistance is needed. If somebody needs some type of information or comfort through the
I know,
feeling.
huh?
But
Sometimes you just don't even say nothing. Just come here, look. Just bring it in for a hug. Just give me a hug,
yeah,
because I don't even know what to say. Because I don't know
yeah,
how I would be acting in that, in like what you going through right now.
but check this out. Oh, somebody aware giving somebody else a hug. I know I can definitely transmute dark energy from them, draw it, take it. But I also know this. I have the potential of affecting them with my frequency resonance because I'm aware of what I'm doing. So defining they don't know how to tune themselves. Well, I know how to tune somebody if they're so susceptible to it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is where healers come in, where somebody's got a really messed up frequency resonance. They may have cancer. They go visit a healing doctor, maybe a really good voodoo witch doctor, and he does what he's going to do. And part of it is the beliefs on the other person that this person is going to be able to heal him is giving him sort of permissions to tune their frequency resonance to a better state. So it's all a matter of fact of just being aware and informed that
Yeah, it's not
it's all
just that
about
too. By them being able to hold the space where their energy is not tipped and tilted by other people's, like, harmonies. They can keep their harmony and their resonance wins out because it's the thing that is stabilized in that situation. It's not going to keep shifting around because
right,
somebody else comes to them with, like I was saying earlier, with the anger state. If someone comes to them with the anger state, they do this. Oh, I'm going to react with the anger state because that's what I've been always used to, and that's what you know, you know, biological creatures normally do. Yeah, but yeah,
right,
you can.
right.
That's why it won't even be just what people will call as a healer. They'll be like, I was hanging out with this nice fella, and he was, he just held the space. He just, like True was saying, he just came in for the hug. Came in. I didn't even know the guy, and he just kind of came in for the hug, and helped out the rest of my day. It transmuted that whole energy state that I was kind of holding myself into.
Right, yeah. That's how it all happens.
And that's how we got to remember that we can do these things even when we don't have someone to do it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. And this is where a lot of therapists make a lot of money. Some may be aware, some not aware. If somebody
Yeah.
goes to them and feel good for a couple of days, and they're like, "Well, when I go there, it gives me information, and I feel good." Well, what's this therapist doing? Well, he or she is either tuning their frequency because they know what they're doing. Either way, it's happening, tuning frequency or giving good advice to uplift the person to vibrate to a better frequency field. It's almost like a drug. They keep coming back because they get the fix. It lasts for a few days because they don't know what to do or how to frequency resonance tune. So,
Yeah. Well,
good
they give them a
energetic feeling
secure place
states.
to look at themselves.
Yeah, good energetic states. Who doesn't enjoy them? And who wouldn't go back
Yeah.
to a good therapist who makes them feel perceived euphoric and good after for a few days? So that would be
This,
in somebody's
I, wa-
perception that this is
I wonder
Yeah.
how
a good
hard is
person.
it to be a good person? Like, do you got to be taught good? Like, is that something like? How is that hard?
Yeah, well, some people are deceived by the dark loop. They're stuck in
It,
darkness and they got like that application dark scripting programming happening all the time and it's just looping
it's
and
so-
looping and amplifying the darkness.
it's
Yeah,
so
but
hard that it's easy, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the trick, right?
If
Who
you
knows?
So
see separation, if I see you as different from me, then I can do anything to you.
Yeah. If somebody's not aware, they have the potential to be
If
what I
I see
define.
you as me, then I can't do anything to harm you.
yeah, nothing, nothing. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to. But some people's light be darkness.
Mm.
if it,
Well, it's
if
kind of how some people will try to, while they're trying to shine their light, they may cast shadows in your perspective, in your direction.
yeah,
Yeah.
Correct. Dark, that's what I call dark attachments, dark boards, and spirits may come onto somebody too.
yeah,
So yeah,
all
so
that
there's
is
the
real
potential.
too. All that shit
Yeah.
is real.
Oh yeah, very real. But it's easy for somebody who's aware to clear those fields because once again, it's just like uninstalling an undesirable program from a computer and clearing that energetic field and tuning.
But some people, I don't know. Some people, I don't think they gonna ever, they just gonna.
Oh,
Yeah, well, that's they may be in for another repeat, right? Another cycle. It's like this: somebody who doesn't make it, they die and they're rebirthed and start from the level they failed, and there's no guarantee they're going to progress or degress when they're born because being born as a baby again, it really isn't determinable. it cannot be determined whether one shall access the same key point they left off from. So people will become aware usually at this stage where everybody is here. They don't cycle back into the earth. They move on because they prepare and make plans. They plan where they're going to go next to the
Like
desirable
like
channel.
even if you learned a lot, right? Let's say if you came here and you learned everything there was to be learned in the lifetime, and you decided to come back. Every time you come back, you're gonna forget. You're not gonna, cause you're gonna see everything in a whole different light. It's gonna be totally different. The light just gonna shine differently because you're gonna be a different person.
I
All the perspective angles that you thought were, the thing that you learned everything of is now new perspective angles.
Yeah,
Even if you were a boy too, growing in the same neighborhood, you're still now the boy down the street, not the boy who you
or
were.
maybe a girl, right? I wouldn't want
Yeah,
to take
or
that
a
chance,
girl.
right?
That's a whole
Yeah,
nother angle to look at it.
they're coming back. They're
That's
still coming back.
like still coming back. You somebody mama. Then you
Yeah.
remember. But I don't know. Yeah, I
Hey,
think I'll be thinking it's all perspective.
true. Here's
Uh,
something. What about in the movies? You see a baby being born in the movie. In that movie, I mean, now in that something, the baby is being born in the movie, and you watch it on TV, but it's in another universe or reality. Now that baby don't realize that baby. It's I mean, and even the other people that's playing the movie, they don't realize well we're watching them in that movie, but that
Yeah,
movie
from their
itself,
awareness perspective, yeah,
yeah, in that, yeah, in that perspective,
yeah. That baby's growing into the world of whatever is playing out in that movie.
yeah, in that
yeah,
movie. And if that
Whether
baby is the
Godzilla's running down the street, yeah, that's his world.
and if that baby is the star role, you gonna be that baby too.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
gonna
because
create you gonna create other realities for that baby and everything. I told you not to go down that dark alley. I would have went the other way right there by the pizza shop.
well, that is true. A lot of people are
You know
influenced through
exactly what's
program.
down that dark alley. You've been down that dark alley 100 times.
It's
At
like
time.
up the stairs. Don't go up the stairs. You know what's upstairs.
You
Don't
know
go up the
what's up
stairs.
there.
We've been
Said,
upstairs. Don't do that.
let's hide behind the shelf. He said, why don't we just get in the car? It's running. It's on. The keys is in it. It's right there. Nah, we gotta go hide over here where all the knives and stuff at.
Now, now, see,
From the killer.
I was playing this the other day that I was watching the Eternal. What's that big red? What is it called? That
Uh
big old. I
Dang,
forgot what his name.
I forgot the name of them. I know what
The
you're
big.
talking about. They come out the
Well,
planet.
yeah,
That's
I
sucking
was
up
watching the Celestial. Oh
the
yeah, the
Yeah,
Celestials.
Celestial.
Celestials.
Yeah,
Man, I was watching that and see throughout that whole movie, man, I was vibrating. But when
yeah,
it came to that Celestial, I vibrated different. Well, it was looking at me. It didn't hear me, but it was looking at me. I was asking the universe this, I believe, and it shook my head. Yes, it was looking at me. That Celestial in that movie was looking at me, and
yeah,
I had to, you know, I had to think about this for a little bit because every time I seen it, it was just staring at me. But at the same time, it was still talking to the other characters in that movie, but it was looking at me.
yeah. That movie. The thing I like about that movie is how like it show like how people is like them motherfuckers basically thought they came to the planet to save the planet from some monsters, and then they find out they wasn't even there for that. Y'all wasn't there for that. But y'all, but y'all all them years, 2,000 years fighting these monsters, thinking you here to save this planet, and then you not even real though. You just another
Yeah,
version of a version of a version of yourself.
yeah, a purpose that can be built up over generations.
You know what it make me think about, Eric B, is like what I was saying about how all of us that's over here in the cities of the United States make up the United States. It make up this giant entity, and
The
then
entity.
yeah,
Exactly.
and that entity is a part of the world. But you have all these different ones though, that and people come together to make these entities. And like the United States, like even when you think about it, it's like the United States, like China, like what
Yeah.
the fuck?
They I was the United States, China are all corporations. They got their own flags, just like McDonald's.
Yeah, they got their own image.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they're
we've
an
built
entity.
some kind
Yeah.
of imaginary structure that lives perceivably outside of us, right? Because
Yeah,
if I'm the one who made Pepsi, well, Pepsi's going to go on after I die.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. It's gonna still be
But
here. It is still here.
basically that's the same. I mean, see, that's the same thing. Just the same with the police enforcement. But you can't really call them police because basically they all are policies enforcement. Because
Yeah,
if you look at if you look at a police or policy enforcer's name, it's all in capital letters representing a corporation,
Correct.
right?
yeah, yeah. And
So
what
they're
are
not
you?
really
And look at the name,
a
break it down.
corporation.
Oh, look at
Just
that.
like that's just like okay,
That's a
just like
nice
your
little
social
cluster
security
bunch.
cost
Yeah, you a part of the corporation.
corporation. Exactly.
That's how you get them right
So
there.
they protecting you.
Those are good. They're just selling them in on cakes now.
What?
Munchies on cakes. You
Huh?
missed it.
Yeah,
Theo
the
was
Asian
showing
store
them.
got real good
Oh,
mushrooms, real shit. These ones taste like psilocybin too. Hope I don't trip. Whoa.
oh damn.
Yeah, there's
I'm,
Uh-oh. Hope I don't
I'm
trip.
I'm always tripping.
Look out.
have them
Don't
growing them in
trip,
the
fool.
back there. Be like, I think you gave me the wrong ones. Oh, sorry,
See
sorry.
you next fall.
Yeah. Now you gotta go back with the empty container and be like, them didn't work.
Ooh, that's what tastes like taste
I,
though. Maybe it's because I did take some.
Are those
But
like
no, that's the
enoki
other thing.
mushrooms or something?
They're similar.
Yeah, one thing that also shows you in that Eternal movie is like, even though that has been the mission that you have been given as your purpose, told you was and has to be, you can decide that that's not the purpose that you want to choose.
yeah.
You could do whatever.
Yeah.
Side quest.
You thought this was an arranged marriage? I think I want to do something different, Dad.
And they showing it in all the movies. Like, remember on Thor when he got to the one guy and he was like, "My daughter died in your name." He said she should have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was crazy.
What? She should have. Like,
Yeah. And he was a god of light, remember?
yeah.
Go figure.
It's like we be telling ourselves these things and we tell ourselves, but it's still like, man, the illusion is real. Like, that's just another part of
Every
the
god is a
illusion.
god of light. Yeah. Doesn't God mean light, anyways? Every god's a god of light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yo,
but
when
that's what you
when
do. We'll build
I
up these things and make them like a broad brush, when that's not what they can be. That's not what they were.
Yeah, very detailed. Hasn't creation paid the utmost detail to every single facet of itself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
did
just want to say
Doom
I
maybe?
recorded 3 songs.
Oh, say it
Coming
Nice.
again.
soon.
Like, it's
Say it
it's
again, Todd.
weird because you think you need all the hocus pocus and you really don't.
Hey.
But you need that to make it, I don't know, and make it a good movie.
Well, yeah. Part of the relative, a subjective nature to it is the objectivity. I can build objectivity in this subjective environment. So it's not like either one is greater. They're operating because of each other, like the yin
Yeah,
and
like
yang, right?
Yeah.
like throughout so much subjectivity, it comes a collective objectivity sometimes, but then it just ripples out.
That's what makes making music so damn fun. Like you
Right?
could start experiencing different vibes, connecting with forces, and you feel like it's the illusion, but that illusion, you the magician. So it's like, all right,
Right.
what you doing while you in the kitchen? Let's clean the dishes.
Right. Because isn't this body the most advanced chemical production facility on the earth? Like we can create so many different chemicals in ingeniously. What's the word? Blue flame? And it's not
Endogenous.
androgynously.
It is ingenious, though. Real shit.
It is very, very.
Endogenous
It's a
even.
genie in there doing something. It's ingenious.
Endogenous. The endogenous. We got an Indonesian genius inside our body that just
I
makes
think
shit up.
I think the things that ride on our body is more genius because they just there for the ride.
I know, like you don't have to be a
Listen,
shark to get shark pass. You can just be a little shark eating thing on the side of the shark and just fly through with the big dogs. Disappear when the big shark come out.
that's it.
Get behind them even.
Y'all know an old term that's kind of I don't know why it just came to me. I guess I was thinking of a church service I went to a couple months ago, but an old term that was viewed as really positive. That's kind of funny to look back on, especially in this group. Was they would describe somebody.
You going out?
Hey,
Yeah, you fractaling
we're
bad.
here.
Hey, true. Something just dawned on me right now that about what's inside of us. Because I was asking this question the other day. So just to ask this question: am
Makes you
I
good.
advanced? They said, okay.
Go
I
ahead.
said
Hold on, Rob.
I was saying I was saying just to say just to see how this comes out. I say, am I'm advanced? It shook my head. No. And but now check this out. When I said that, I can understand now. But I said, are you advanced? And it says yes. Inside of me, that is advanced inside of me. Not myself,
Yeah.
She
not
said,
myself, not me, but the thing that's inside of me is advanced.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
advanced. Now,
You
what
think
was you
I
gonna
The
say?
figure
Was
body,
you is Rob
our
in a good
bodies
area?
itself, it will not. The body itself will never be advanced, but the thing that's inside of you is advanced. So, like this civilization, that's how I said something have something to do with growth inside of us that we see around here in this place that we live in, all these buildings. So, what's going on inside these people that's making them advance or not advance inside of themselves?
It's
Because
the
there's
same.
races that's very advanced inside them. It's like
Probably
growth,
the
something
same
inside.
thing. It's probably the
Yeah,
same thing that's going on with clothes. Because if you dress a certain way, then it make you better than everybody else. I'm just
So
saying.
I don't got
so
time today, cuz.
So it's probably the same energy. Probably the same energy. But now Rob was saying something, man. I want to hear what Rob was saying. Is you free yet, Rob?
Mi hermano Roberto.
Oh dang. Missed it. Oh, we
This
probably
soup
gotta
is
go wait
shaking
for
my head.
Rob.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there you go, Rob.
My bad. I was in a bad spot. I didn't realize I was walking on people.
Oh yeah,
you're
no,
good.
no, yeah. But what was you saying?
Oh, I was saying, it's fine because I guess I was thinking of the first service I went to a couple months ago, and the term or or back in the day, especially like the early 1900s, 1800s, they would describe a good person as God.
Wait, say it again, cause you fractaled out again.
Sam was a God-fearing man.
Oh yeah. He-
And so you're telling somebody to be scared of themselves, and that makes them a good person.
Daily
Programming,
dose of fear, daily dose of
script,
hate.
scripting.
he was a god
Like
that was fearing men.
that
Remember
term
they
is
put
just
that
so
fire out.
funny. That term is just so funny to me now. It always
Yeah.
sounded kind of weird to me. Oh yeah, so and so. Are you God fearing? So and so was a God fearing man, or
Yeah.
Samantha was a God
They're
fearing
like,
man. And
you're being
now
a bad person.
realizing we are gods. Yeah, now realizing that we are gods, it's even funnier.
Right. I got you, Rob. Here's
Someone said
like
you were.
here's the same thing. It's like,
Too small.
oh, I just lost it. Fuck.
Oh wow, that
Right, I
fast.
took it.
A god, yeah, because you a god
be
that's
doing
fearing man.
It's like if someone says, "You're a terrible person," are you asking me something? Because you can ask nicely. You're asking me to do something for you? Real shit. Kind of like you were saying. That fear, pain reaction. Like the closer something gets to our skin, that fear, that pain.
We
Oh,
can turn it into suffering. That's
hey,
where we
Rob,
get attached
it's
and
like
identify.
it's like saying that you had to be afraid. You had to be afraid of your own power. That's in that power that's inside you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's exactly what it's saying.
yeah.
yeah. But back then, it seems like it was more about control, like that we viewed God as a third party
Yeah.
and not really
Oh,
part of
I just got it.
Okay.
So God is omnipresent, he's omnipotent, and he's all powerful. But he sent you here to defend him.
Yes. Yeah, fear your boss.
And it's also like, yeah, the authority. Like, what is your boss going to do worst thing? It's illegal to beat someone in the office. And then, like,
Yes. Yes.
I got a question here. So I got a question to represent. So what is fear? What does what does fear represent to people here?
behavior
Everybody.
change.
Fear, in my appropriation, represents an unwillingness to change because you think you're going to lose something. That I've got a grasp on to something that I'm perceiving, so I never lose it. I was fucking pissed today, bro, until I let it go. And I realized, hey, this is, I'm probably not going to be mad for a long time. Just because I haven't let myself get that mad in a long time. It was over some stupid ass shit,
And it
Right.
usually
Right. It's whatever we make it up to be because it's we're making this life real, whatever that means.
Yeah,
We
fear
are
can be
making this.
so
It's
I'll
like,
represent here how I perceive fear. Because I studied fear for a long time. Okay, what the hell is fear? Okay, besides the trembling and shaking that may arrive, okay, or the anxieties, but we're going to put that aside. That's just the stimuli interference to block one's perception of fear. So, what is fear? Fear is to attain a non desirable outcome in reality. So, how do we get rid of the fear? Well, one must change their perception outcome of the event. It's like fear is representing
Yeah.
a program. This is going to happen. When that happens to myself, I'm right away on the ball. No, it's not going to happen. I change the program to what I want it to be. Those on our side we can control it. Well, to the other side we cannot control it. But in actual fact, fear is just a non-desirable attainment. Like say I have a
Right.
good job, right? And then I'm fearing, what if I lose it? Well, I'm integrating a probability of that projection to start manifesting. So fear is just the fear would be also the reverse of what somebody wants. It's like somebody wants to get a good high-paying job or something, or wants to, get something, a desired outcome attainment in this dimensional plane, and it is actually a reverse field of not attaining the outcome. So it is like a reverse field of what one truly wants. So it is interesting. It is almost like I see fear as it is a thought projection attempt to hijack one's reality to project the anti-field or something not desirable.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting
And fear
getting
can
lost.
be as simple. Fear can be as simple as somebody being confused.
Yeah,
Yeah,
interference once again.
getting
Yeah,
lost in the moment, not being receptive to this moment, this moment, this moment. I'm bringing in what I think should have been,
Or
should be.
even knowing what that is. Hey, I'm confused. I'm fearful. Because it's like everything is paid attention to what's going on in the forefront, what the eyes are creating, instead of what's
Mm,
on the generators.
mm, all that glitters is not gold. So can we see with our feelings?
definitely much clearer
Yeah,
than any other states.
yeah, clear.
And
Is
get this, okay, I gotta interject something here. In Star Wars, Darth Vader defines something like this to Luke when they're fighting. He's like, "Your feelings betray you." Do you see the programming? It's trying to get people out of their feelings, and it's trying to program people to
Yeah,
subliminally receive that if you're feeling you're going to be betrayed, you should be in a different state. Like as most people
yeah.
are.
Look at the use of technology as well. Look how the
Oh, that,
dark side in the Star Wars uses technology, which is source outside of source, let's say, right? Perceived outside of source, but the 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 Jedi use technology in a different way, right?
correct. It's like I
So
call it
that,
the dark anti version of Source and the luminary version of Source. Once again, the yin and the yang in that movie, right? But how feasible is it? It's like this when kill somebody who's not going to the formal codes of the Jedi. So the Jedi's are supposed to be defending, right? Here is like just because Anakin gives him a statement, he's like, well, only a Sith is one side. Anyways, the way he just stated it.
Kind of
So
think that he's
it
a
it,
Sith.
it kind of controverts both sides. So in actual fact, Ben is just
right,
as dark as as
right,
Anakin, right?
right.
A Sith deal only a Sith deals in absolutes. What's wrong with dealing in absolutes?
But that's an absolute statement. So he's saying basically, hint, hint, I'm a Sith.
Yeah, but then Obi-Wan willing to take care of the problem by killing Anakin because he's a Sith. How unconditionally accepting is that? I understand a fight is a fight, so it's probably they weren't really fighting with lightsabers. My interpretation of them battling with lightsabers is people fighting with their own frequency resonance, either dark illuminated perceived light or dark anti-light. So the lightsabers really is an extension of one's frequency resonance because to become a Jedi or a Sith, you got to create your own crystal in your lightsaber and make your own lightsaber frequency resonance, right? Because they fine-tune their crystals. Once
Yeah,
again, it's like we're arriving back to what I was defining. It's all about when one becomes aware and awake, they tune their reality and their frequency, defining they're tuning their lightsaber, their beam pillar of light to their core essence of their energy being. It's a pretty
Don't
cool
the
movie.
dark, doesn't the dark side people kind of think they're the light side though?
I don't know. It's determined by one's perspective. Once again, I don't consider myself dark or light because that's kind of the polarity illusion. So when I combine those two together, and then one goes to a different energetic field of singularity, which would be a different lightsaber again. You see what I mean? Just different energy states.
well, and one of the last Star Wars too, I forget who the woman's name was, but she goes immediately to the dark side. He said, "You didn't even stop. You didn't even pause. You went straight there. You
And
went
some
right to
do.
the dark side." Well,
Yeah, some
that
people are.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
Hey,
singularity. I think
Stewie, what
that
it do we?
part of the part part of our civilization, part of our species, let's call it, part of our life form is always in that secular mode of finding out, exploring, breaking ground, living in what they know. But then there's this like generalized social complex of the middle that just seems to be okay in the houses and the schools and the institutions, and, doing what quote normal people do.
Huh. What is normal, huh?
Exactly. I would never want to be a normal person. I would be, for my life, it's been definitely not normal, and many people here in this panel
It seems like you're
participating
trying to,
definitely.
like normal would
Def-
just be trying to blend in as much as possible.
That is
They're all
well,
normal.
like,
the best way I could see normal is those obey shirts I see. And when I see those, it's like, who are you obeying? I'm thinking in my head, obey,
Oh yeah,
obey, right?
you realize, well, you can realize after going through the rebel state, the rebel state is just another institution. The rebellion is
it's like
just
the first
another.
one. Because I
Yeah,
think everything we come from our parents, and we're like we have to trust everything. Well, we just kind of do. We just fall into that flow, and at some
Yeah.
point we say, well, something ain't right around here. Then we have to be full rebel. We don't have to be, but then not everyone.
We just fall
But then
in.
some people go deep
Yeah.
rebel. Then they're like, damn, I was just lost. You can get lost on trying to be the opposite of everything.
Though in society,
Then
somebody
you
who
wiggle back to the direction.
in society, somebody that would be considered obeying the system really doesn't get a lot of wisdom and knowledge. Now, when somebody rebels, they take different paths, perceived, dabbling in certain things. That is the rebellion where one is conditioned in the fight of the light and dark. And the only way one shall learn about the darkness and the light is to go through that fighting stage of guarding, defending, challenging, and the indifferences, basically arguing and going through the experience.
gotta
So,
go through it. It looks like a progression for sure.
yeah, for sure. I just, if somebody's never had their cage really rattled, who's going to be more conditioned? Somebody who was brought up in a dysfunctional family. Well, it could be both
Right.
ways. This person could stay dark or eventually really perceive the
Well,
experiences that they were in as opportunities to gain conditioning and a lot of
yeah,
wisdom and knowledge.
yeah.
So once again, it is based on the choices somebody's going to make with the what is represented, and everybody in this planet is born to what I define a family that's going to condition them, like their immediate mother and father, brother or sister, is the ones that's going to push the buttons the most and condition one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I took my cousin grocery shopping for the first time in his life when he was 18 years old. I was like, how do you not go grocery shopping in your whole life?
He
I
said
just
like
never did.
this. Just like this.
I've seen a documentary on TV. Someone who has only eaten mac and cheese and pizza or something like that every day, and he would refuse to eat everything. He's like, "Mom, what's going on here?" It's like we gotta. He wouldn't even trust her to go to the store. He'd have to like go himself and just pick it out. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ET said that DMT was explained as in something that affects your pineal gland in a way that allows you to experience time loops differently. He used songs on a vinyl record, for example, in the Netflix movie Synchro.
Something about your mind, the aperture diameter radius gets blown out. Portion.
And
You
then
can dive deep in the shallow end too. I think sometimes when we don't dive deep enough, it can feel really deeper than anything. And then deeper than that, it's another layer. It's like, oh, I thought I was deeper than deep. I was shallow in the shallow end. Well, there's no shallow end, but an analogy.
but you can create one.
There is one though. You can make one though.
The aperture.
Aperture diameter radius spectrum really gets blown out of proportion. That's why it's like, I don't know.
Cheers,
Going
Christy.
till the end. It's
Well,
always
yeah,
make-
if I identify with nothing, then nothing is a problem. No thing is a problem to me. If I identify with something, then everything is a problem.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah, and this is,
it was
and once
everything,
again, yeah, you're
dog.
bang on,
Listen,
and this is
it
where
was everything,
lately
bro.
myself is whatever I don't want to experience, I
Appreciate
tune
it.
out of it. I only tune to experiences of events and energies I want to be resonating with.
That's it.
Because if I'm not really being selective, then I'm going to be invaded by space invaders, different frequency fields of not desirable choice.
Yeah, and sometimes that looks like not leaving your house and not you
Say
you
that
want to
again.
be recluse or something. No, hold your
Could you?
energy for something that's more important.
Can you repeat that? You were fractured.
Man,
If you choose so, that would be great.
If you would be so fractally inclined.
I know that's not that movie.
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I was saying sometimes that looks like you want to be a recluse, like you're staying in your house and you're staying away from people. But it's really that you're just saving your energy for stuff you like, stuff you that makes you feel good.
Yeah, right. And sometimes, there will be what I define one's ascension, the isolated, independent part. But when I defined that, there was a part where I was a recluse, but now I do basically all my daily affairs. But I'm tuning all the time. I just basically am that level of ascension where I've realized if I'm not tuning, then other things will attempt to tune myself. So
There you go.
you're right about that.
Yo, so what if you decide to tune in to like uh where you're cuz I think my I'm trying to tune in to where I feel like I'm dead. Like where you feel like you're dead and you're like in a state of bliss cuz I feel like that's the best way to live is like where you're just like a dead person walking around but you're like in a state of bliss.
What does dead mean to you?
Yeah,
Like
how do you know what dead feels
like
like?
you ever like when you take DMT and you feel like you die?
Can, can, can I just interject something quickly? Yeah, I know exactly what you're defining. I enjoy that. It's like you're dropping into your black hole of gravity, of euphoricness and bliss. I call it the black hole dragon. You're entering your dragon beyond. Part of the Egyptian teaching of the Book of the Dead was to implode your energetic fields of inconduction that would actually be amplifying one's feeling of euphoricness. So if one pays attention and reviews, when they're feeling their energy is actually conducting in and down where it feels like you are sort of sinking into a black hole of euphoricness. And if one really tunes their frequency field at that, you will feel everything going down, your whole environment with your vessel, like you're going down in an elevator, sinking in a euphoricness type of black hole. So that stage you're defining is a level of what I define as moving beyond. You're actually moving beyond to what I define the underworld, right? You're going to the under earth, that is another level deeper of more euphoricness. So down, people perceive going up to the heavens as getting closer to source. No, the Earth's core would be down. So what you're defining is the underworld copy of euphoricness and bliss, where you actually move beyond the deceptions of polarity. So yeah, you're going where you're supposed to be going with what you define, and if you so choose that, excellent place to go. I go there many times.
What the fuck, bro? You, wait. So you're saying like going into the core of the earth is actually like going into the core of yourself?
Well, you're getting closer to source. Source is down, not up. Okay, if we had a sphere and we're on top of the sphere, perceive the Earth, and we put the core in the center, we said the layers within the Earth is different channels with different copies of different Earths. Okay, different channel copies of Earths with different frequency fields. So basically, those going to the core eventually, we are in the core, but we're not going to go back to that level within the channel until we finish completely all the levels. So going down, what you're defining going to the core, you're going to a different copy resonance Earth, a different frequency field Earth. So the core is inside the Earth perceived, or inside this dimensional TV box, is just channels getting to the core. So this is like the test. The test is to go from the outer layer to right to the inner layer to get to the core. So source would be considered downwards. Okay, no matter what side of the Earth you're on, it would be going into the core would be down. Now going up, I don't suggest anybody ever go up, because you're really going up to the dragon, sun, and moon that really, really are merciless, right? So
People are
I
always trying
always,
to get to this bliss, no matter what
yes,
it is
yes,
they're
And for
You
myself, I'm always grounding my feet potently with energetic fields of down, like this person here. I'm not sure what your name is, but what you define it as in being dead. Okay, and yeah, it is the right way to travel for sure. And the underworld that would be perceived as Anubis and Horus, whoever the gatekeepers are, they are part of the portal and
Oh,
gateway keepers.
hey,
Okay,
singular.
yeah.
Hey, you know what? That underworld, they call it a minty,
The halls of
where the lords of the cycles are.
the Duat is
Yeah.
Yeah, the Duwat, Amenti, underworld. Yeah, I actually felt it. The soul goes there.
Well,
I
what
know
is
mine.
this? Well, the soul is always in a vessel. So when we jump out of this vessel, we're always going into a different vessel, either more dense or less dense, different laws of physics. So yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, because even Thoth talk about uh, going to Amenti underneath the earth, where all the Lord. Okay, you got the Lord of the cycles. They talk about that a lot in the book, and yeah.
So if people, this is the biggest deception. Nobody goes to the final destination not aware, right? One must do what I define as going down towards the core, arriving to closer channels to the core, our origins home with source unification again. One has to do their own work to get there, and one can get there without tasting death. Like in the Bible, even JC defines, some of you standing here shall not taste death until you see the kingdom of heaven, God arrive, something like that. Well, what was he talking about? Not taste death. Well, you know that that state that was represented about being dead. Well, one has to do their work aware to get there before tasting
death isn't
the
the only path
perceived death of the expired
to
body
get to
vessel.
that bliss.
So people
It's
to get back to the perceived heaven that is actually down, that is the underworld. You see the reversal on this planet. Underneath is hell. It's fire.
it's
Well, fire is the bliss, euphoricness that people
well, death
perceive
is,
at
and the source isn't
at
really
heaven.
just bliss as well. It's just like death isn't the only way to get to that bliss. Like there are many
Exactly.
roads to that bliss or path. Like
Yeah. So
and that's
in
why
actual
people do the things that make them feel what they consider most alive, as well as try to put themselves in a state that's very close to what they call death, because it's the same thing.
Yes.
Man.
I take into consideration that death is actually the perceived euphoricness, and actually the living are actually going through the pain because, has anybody heard this? The devil reversed everything. Well, how did he reverse everything? Well, the teachings have been manipulated. With one's perception can be bent to believe
Yeah,
something,
that's
then
what
they're
that
projecting
rebellion
that.
thing that Exile was just talking about. That that's what that essence kind of does. When you tune into that essence, it reverses everything. It makes you go, hey, you're telling me that the sky is blue? What? No, I'm gonna find the reverse of that. You know, I'm gonna find an
Now,
opposite.
I have something to say about death, because I felt death, but I felt through the vibration. Now, I was vibrating with death, and when I was vibrating with it, it would have the same vibration as when I look at other people. That's that's what I experienced with death. When yeah, it's like, okay, it's like, okay, when I look at people on the top of their heads, right? It has a certain, it has the same vibration and thing when I'm frequency to it, because my head always spins when I look at the top of a person's head. Now, when I was listening, because Death spoke in the book, yeah, like where the crown is. Now, when I was, because Death has spoke up in the tablets, And when the death spoke in the tablets, I felt it, and I was vibrating with it.
How did you
And
feel?
just as I am, as I am regularly, it was
Did you
just
feel?
vibrating.
Did you
But
feel?
see,
No. My question is, did you feel good in your fork? That's what I'm wondering.
no, I just felt normal.
Okay. So you didn't
I mean,
completely
not
die.
not like a normal. I just felt as okay. Oh, just like that.
Yes,
It's just
yes.
like when I'm look at somebody's top of the head, because he explained that death itself is light. Death itself is light, but like it's kind of hard to explain because it has like a on the outskirts. It's like dark to dark, something that we can't understand. But death
Yeah.
itself is like, because when I was I was vibrating with it when it spoke. When death spoke, I was vibrating with it.
Though death is just a label. So if we can break down death and life, do they really exist, or is that the illusion of polarity? Okay, because what I understand is there is only existence. Now, if I'm going to believe in death and life, then I'm playing the polar game. I can give you an example. I want to give you an example of something that will change everybody's perspective. Do we have to decay in these bodies, or is it a choice? Now, I'm going to tell you about an experiment I read on an article. The scientists were experimenting with oscillating cycles per second. They had 2 glasses of milk. 1 glass of milk, they put it in this device that oscillated under 2,000 cycles per second, if I'm correct. And that milk went bad after a few days. Now they had the other glass of milk oscillating in this device for over 2,000 cycles per second. And that glass of milk after 2 weeks was still fresh. It did not decay nor break down or change its structure. So I truly believe that death and life are frequency resonance of experience. Yes, just different states. But when we blow off death and life, there's just existence of frequency resonance. Now, was JC truly talking about eternal life? Yes, he was. But who can grasp it and realize to attain the body not to break down is sustaining a certain frequency resonance where it doesn't allow one's molecules, their elements that are just basically energy molecules, to start decaying, breaking down.
Is it
So
is
it
it
is.
that weight, like when you feel weightless?
Well, for myself, I like feeling, it is how one is going to do. See, one could be in 2000, one could be in the frequency where the cells don't decay and realize they can tune to low, medium, high levels of states of feeling. So whether feeling light or medium or really heavy and euphoric, one can still be in the oscillating frequency of no decay to their cells. So also this I'm going to represent to the table. You can take 2 people that may be 30 years old, both the same age. One may look like they're 45, and the other one may look like they're 25, not looking their age. So I'm going to represent this question. Why do some people age faster than others? It is their oscillating cycles that determines their decay of their elements, that is their cells, that is actually their energetic molecules. So people that age slower are awarely doing it usually, or not awarely. It could be either way. Just some people are living different kinds of lifestyles, behaviors, the way they're
A
carrying themselves.
singular. A
Yes.
singular. What if it has something to do with what if it has something to do with the flower of life? What if it has something to do with your poles that
Yeah.
that they explains about up in the tablet? That when you put your
Yeah.
head up, or no, when you when what Thoth has talked about, what if it has your poles? Because once your poles go, it seems to go down. Your life will shorten, but you can regain that by doing your pole, balancing your pole from north
Yeah.
to south.
For sure.
That's now, see,
Aging.
this is what the ancients have done.
Yes.
That balance your poles, because if your poles are not balanced, then it's unbalanced. Then it it seems to shorten your life with if you don't balance your poles.
Correct.
And
That's
this
correct.
is what has been done. I mean, people during the ancients, it was kept a secret about this for a long time, and they knew it. That if your poles are balanced, you can live well enough over 100 years.
Yeah, and
This
when
has been
one
said.
yeah, and when one really balances their poles of positive and negative, it creates a different field. They're out of the
Yeah,
law.
yeah,
They are out of the laws of physics determining decay to the body. They're actually in a different dimensional channel that I call the singularity. They're in a different dimension. See the
Now,
yeah, you're bang on with that.
I have done this. I have actually balanced my pole, and I
Yeah,
felt it.
Hmm.
And
you can,
I when I did it, I noticed that I've done it for a while. And after I kept doing it, I noticed that it was a change. It was a change within myself. That I did it one more last time, but when I did that, it seemed that I was trying to break out the barrier, but it's like I went to that gate again. But my poles are all balanced, because every time I would balance my poles, that I do vibrate until it stops.
yeah, and
And I feel
when you balance your pulse, you won't be vibrating no more. Your vibrating is an oscillating wave. That's part of your
yeah,
conditioning you went through. But
yeah,
in that oscillation, you're getting a lot of information about the yin and the yang, the light and the dark. That's why people go through
yeah,
the vibrate states before they get to what I define the singularity stage of balancing their poles, right? Where they close the positive and negative, and basically it's like putting the plug back into source. So when one closes the positive and negative, it becomes like the plug to the other channel.
yeah.
And
I
that's
mean,
sort
because
of that
because
would be
when I
sort
was
of
doing it, because when I was doing it, oh, I'm sorry.
that would be sort of like defining somebody moved beyond, but beyond is just a different channel too. So somebody can actually experience death when they balance their poles to a singular field and go beyond actually before tasting death, and they basically move into a different dimensional channel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just had this. I just had this thought, this trippy thought about life and death. The difference in life and death could be like the difference between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock.
Huh.
But we go from life, let's say 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, you go from life to death. But if you're looking at the clock from the other side, you might be going the other way, from death to life.
Exactly.
yeah,
It's just a matter of perspective. So
Yeah.
we leave here, we die and go somewhere else, and we see it as dying here. But we might see it as being born there. And then when we come back here, it's dying there and being born here.
But
It is a polarity type thing. It just seems like a matter of perspective.
yes, and when one really becomes informed, okay, illuminated, they realize they don't have to die. All one is doing is jumping into different dimensional bodies, vessels. Then they shall not taste death because they're knowing how to travel through dimensions.
I think that's what
So
he's trying
some,
to
even in the
kind of
Bible, it's
convey to
defined,
them.
some of you standing here shall not taste death. Yeah, some beings shall
Well,
leave this dimension, blink out of
well,
it,
it's
leave.
he's kind of conveying that to like all things, though. It's like because that's why the translation wasn't death in most of those old systems. It was considered afterlife.
Hmm.
No matter
Yeah, the
where the
afterlife.
people would go, there was still life going on. What we would conceive of as like an ongoing of the patterns of playing out. Just like when you close your eyes and you go into the dream and you're now in somebody else's body. You're in another afterlife.
Yeah, another
That's why
avatar,
they.
correct?
Well, yeah, anything that you're and then that would become your reality, and you just be
Definitely.
playing that out.
And that shall happen if somebody's not aware. The key to be aware of is to jump into only your copy avatars in different dimensional channels, because I assure you there's many people trying to hijack. You ever see the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers? There's more behind that movie of the aliens coming down. It's actually beings that actually want to hijack other people's higher dimensional vessels.
Well, well, yeah, because that's kind of happening on an everyday. When like people go, well, what would Jesus Christ do? They're being hijacked by that system of people's beliefs, who kind of came up with those. What would he do? And they do that with all the things that they're kind of patterning themselves in the day. They're always almost being, like overrun by multiple spirits of multiple others, and then some of these spirits they will decide are malicious towards, the things that they would perceive would find their bliss.
Huh.
But
Exactly, yes. Anti-fields to each other, yes.
Yeah, I have to tie into this my first DMT trip with the group at the meetup. Whenever whenever I died, so you haven't gotten to hear this one singular. Whenever I died, I went into a sarcophagus, and Anubis was putting me away there. This is my first deep DMT trip with this group, and he was the short version is he closed the lid of the sarcophagus on me. Anubis was doing something with my body. I saw a couple things before that were like hieroglyphs and pyramid related stuff, but when he closed the lid of the sarcophagus, I went flying up. It felt like straight up into the stars, and I traveled through the universe. And from that experience, it felt like dying was really being born.
yeah,
Yes, exactly. You went to a different dimensional field.
Yeah.
So that
and that's why
that
that. Oh, go ahead. I was
oh
just
that
gonna say,
that completely changed my outlook on death.
yeah, that's why I was gonna say that. When people would talk about like that kingdom of heaven is like being reborn into, existence or God or reality or whatever that, or and you don't have to die to, like you did. You don't actually have to physically die to go through the afterlife to be reborn and come back into your body reborn anew. And all your troubles, all your pains, all the things that you had built up that you thought you had to hold on to, you can let that go and be born in it.
Yeah.
Yo, singular. What is a shooting star?
Shooting star. I haven't given them much thought. Maybe somebody traveling across the sky with their, I don't know, with their soul spark. I'm not sure. What's your interpretation?
I don't know, but when you like about like 10 minutes ago when you started talking about fuck, I can't remember what you you went in on the shit. I don't know, but anyway, when you started talking, I looked out like I was looking outside, and then there was like a. I usually don't see too many shooting stars like around here, but it was like a falling. It wasn't like a shooting star, but it like fell. It was pretty cool. So it was like, what the hell is what was that? Because it doesn't make sense if you're saying like what you were saying. It doesn't make sense that that would just be a ball of sun, a ball of fucking like a sun just
Yeah.
because a star is a
Just that.
sun, so it doesn't make sense to just
Just
travel that fast. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it would be. I'm all ears here to what people's interpretation would be. That's for sure.
Well, it's a certain
Or
moving of potential, but you could take it
uh,
as like a synchronicity or like when I think at the time he was talking about like certain like underworld layers that have always kind of been perceived, what where the halls of Amenti are, where people say Tartarus is, or the fields of Elysia, or a lot of these systems before, the way that you went to through the beyond to kind of get to like these either what people would call damnation, or bliss, or heaven, or
to 6 o'clock,
it was
right
always
in front of
through the underworld. You went through the
straight down,
underworld, like in like
straight in front.
oh, sorry, I thought somebody was talking. Through the like in the Mayans, they tell you that you have to go into the caves, and in the caves you'll find the passages to where the gods stay. They don't just like in Greek terminology sit up on the top of the mountain. They were inside the mountain and underneath the mountain as well. And those would be like the lords of death, or what people would call death, but the lords of the other world, the ones who have been through the multiple cycles of the upper world.
That he said that if like our path is to go inward into the inner earth,
Yeah,
but then
yeah, you have to go inside
he said the
yourself.
outer earth. What the hell was it like? Because you were about to like explain what the
Oh,
outer earth.
go, yeah, go in on you were talking about going up to the sun and the moon.
Yeah,
How
those
people
are.
go.
Oh, go again.
I was just gonna say that's where you were. That's where I think that's the point.
Yeah, I was defining that the sun and the moon is actually type of energy orbs, or dragons. There are the ones dragons that will teach them information, but they're also the dragons if somebody is deceived and doesn't know what they truly are. They're also, people have heard this, right? That the sun and moon are part of the recycling repeating system, and that they are. This is where I did define one's own dragons. Their copy are merciless. Either one's going to tame their dragons and know what they are and what they are basically here to do. But it is a level of experience, and it doesn't define when one goes to further levels closer to the core that the sun and the moon disappeared. There are just different copies, different gatekeepers to that level within the channel. So though eventually one day there shall be no more sun and moon, because they will be not needed no more, because one shall arrive to what I define the of all their molecules being illuminated, where they reabsorb their sun and their moon into the molecules, where the molecules are illuminated without the necessity of the sun and moon nor lights, because one in like the movie Avatar, right? If anybody paid attention, when the sun went down and it went dark, that's when everything became illuminated. So it's sort of telling us about the sun being reintegrated to one's molecules, being absorbed and reintegrated to its
Haven't you kind
proper
of
field.
seen that's what kind of people are doing anyway, though? In our past, like the sun goes down, we light the city up.
Yeah, yeah, but imagine us where there is a dimensional plane where there is no necessity of lights, because everything is actually being illuminated on a
Well, that's what
different
I was
level.
saying. Like many of the things that we seem to like emulate, like from these layers of our imagination, are these heavens, these hells. We are just kind of emulating these things into the world,
Well, bro,
like
we can't
Wi-Fi.
we can't see at night, so that's why we put turn the light on. We can't see at night.
Yeah, yeah. We can't use like our eyes to a certain potential, so we came up with, hey, remember how we have this feeling of being able to perceive no matter what is the what we would conceive as time or whatever. We will always, to get back to that. And we then, light bulbs, we even allow these things to be patterns that we can find in a system of, what is infinity, you know as accidents, or You know, these great synchronicities that kind of keep flowing us towards that same thing. You know?
Yo, is there a dark side of the moon, or not a dark side of the moon? Is there Well, yeah, no, that's actually a really good question. I didn't even think about that. Okay, is there a dark side of the moon, and then is there a black hole sun?
Well, the sun,
Both.
Is anybody? I took a video of the sun one time of my phone, and I seen a black spherical object in the center of the sun.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah,
you
because
define? Can
inside
you
of it,
repeat that question again?
Well, it was
inside
two
the
different
sun, it's dark.
questions. It was two different questions.
Hey, can you repeat them both?
Okay, so is there a dark side of the moon, and then is there a black hole sun?
Yeah. Okay. Now, if one studies stars and Wikipedia and looks up the black body would be like a black body type of radiation. Stars come up as black bodies because what they do is they emit the same amount of energy, but at the same moment they return it back to itself. So they're like it's like an oscillating field. Yeah. So there's a black hole sun. The sun is actually like a dragon. What it gives, it actually takes, and anybody who is not aware of what the sun is doing, it's actually processing them because it's emitting a field to them and then back to itself, to them, back to itself. And the moon, the moon, whether there be a dark side, well, I'm not so sure about that. It's that once again one's perception. But the sun and the moon are actually like husband and wife that give birth to what I define the polar Earth matrix. So basically, the sun and the moon, when one realizes the sun and the moon is actually a projection from their thought core. They merge the sun and the moon to be one again, one singular field. So the sun would be the male perceived as positive, the moon would be the female perceived as negative, and then there it is, one's split polar realities being actually projected from their satellites. That is, they aren't really up there; they're actually being projected from one's thought core. So when one realizes they're in their thought core, and their actual seat is in the third eye. The sun and the moon are merged to one singular field in their third eye. And what is the third eye? The third eye is basically an extension to one's thought core. Building the material thought core is actually the third eye reference and region that I define the spiritual or different dimensional mind, one's energy, spirit, soul, spark. So the sun and the moon will be reabsorbed when one becomes aware and place it in the third eye. Then the sun and the moon becomes their guardian dragons that actually process dark anti-energetic fields.
Would
Hey,
you say the
Well, the reason why I asked the dark side of the moon question was because we only see one side of the moon. We only see the same
oh
face
yeah,
of
that's
the moon.
because of the moon has a rolling effect. Yeah, the moon
Yeah,
has a
so
rolling orbit, so it kind of always keeps one side to the planet, but it's not always one side to the sun. So the moon doesn't really have a dark side. It has a non-visible side from our perspective here, but it doesn't really have a dark side.
that's the same thing that I say about the clouds in the sky, and you know, with the sun, with itself, about the vortex within the sun and the moon and the clouds. It's the exact same thing. When okay, you know how it can be a clear day outside, right?
hmm
Until a cloud comes in out of the blue. Now, that's exactly what I'm saying. When the cloud comes, it's like a vortex, and it
Yeah,
spins just
yeah,
like the sun and the moon. Behind that, that's when, speaking for myself, that I can speak or they can speak to me through the sun and the clouds and the moon. And I start vibrating with that, with the clouds in the sky, swirling behind the clouds itself is nothing but a vortex that
yeah,
we don't see. I mean, even if you're in an airplane and you look down, you're gonna still see the cloud. but behind that is nothing but a vortex that when you're tuned in,
Yeah,
you'll
that's what the
vibrate.
plane feels as turbulence. When the plane tries to go
Yeah,
through it, the
yeah,
plane gets caught up in this thing they call
and
turbulence. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, exactly. And see that, that turbulence itself, you know, we don't see it, but it's actually just
yeah. It's
spinning
just the
around.
wind kind of getting caught on those vortex,
Well,
yeah,
well, well,
potentials.
this is what Soph has said in his journey up in the sky. He now this is what he said. He mentioned that there are nothing but cycles in the sky.
Yeah.
Vast amount of cycles, vast in the sky. I mean, vast. And he mentions other stuff too about that. And
Well, even the
it's like,
orbits of planets kind of get caught up in that, and that's why, like, that's why I was saying, like, even
uh,
the moon has a
yeah,
certain cycle that keeps it like rolling towards the planet, keeping one
yeah,
side, but as
yeah,
it's
Roy,
still, caught in
exactly,
another cycle that's kind of got it going around the
exactly.
planet. Yeah.
And see when that happens, because I noticed. I mean, I noticed that when there's like a clear sky. Now, I mean, I feel this. This is like a basic thing to me now. When it could be a small little cloud. I mean, just a small little cloud outside. And when the cloud formed, and I mean, I'm looking at it, and sometimes I don't even have to look at it. And when it passes my head, first thing I do, I start to vibrate. That's the very first thing I do. And once I do that, I'm already connected, or you know, can talk to you know, beings or something.
Yeah,
And when
those
it
chemicals in
passes, and then when it passes me up, I vibrate back to my old. I mean, I said vibrate down, like down or something. But I vibrate again as it moves away, so I'm back to myself or something like that. And it's like that's the same thing. Like if I can, like we were saying a while back, I can get I have a star chart, star chart, and I can point the star chart to any galaxy or planet, and I will start vibrating with it. And from there, it's like, okay, there's a signal or tuned into that particular signal. And the same thing, just like the sun, when I'm, out there,
Well,
like
that's what a
so,
lot of them are saying that they're doing with like what they would call that pyramid technology. They were
yeah,
transporting themselves to Sirius.
yeah, that's exactly. Not only that, I mean, it's like I was like saying too, like the pyramids in Egypt, man. I look at those pyramids, man. I'm telling you, I vibrate like crazy with those pyramids. I look on YouTube, right? And you know how people take videos and stuff. They go inside the pyramids. Man, I'm telling you, man, I'll be vibrating like crazy when people take their cameras inside those pyramids. I'll be vibrating like I mean, the vibration does not stop. So it continues until I turn it off or something. But I be vibrating. I mean, looking at the pictures on the walls, the hieroglyphs, everything. I be vibrating to them, man. I'm serious. I be vibrating to them.
Yeah.
The
A lot of their systems were about using that, like, what people would call their end is like at those times you could transport, like, what would you would have to like reincarnate on this world, you know
Yeah,
like, okay, don't reincarnate on this world because this isn't where you want to be right now. You want to be on Sirius, you want to be in the Pleiades, you want to be on these certain ones that have certain achieved certain like potentials, and they were always like trying to shift themselves between these certain places and then bring back certain types of energies like, oh, I want to have my children come from these potentials.
That is right, because you know what, that sounds right. That's the same exact thing that Rob was talking about, because he was in the tomb when he went through his journey.
Yeah, very similar to that.
Yeah, and when I'm because it's like a gateway, right? You think it's like a gateway? You just actually said it. It's just like a gateway. It can take you to different places. So I'm like, oh, that what made it what it might be. Just like
You remember Stargate?
Yes. Oh yeah, I used to watch that a lot.
Yeah, very similar to like Stargate, but instead of people transporting what is themselves, that thing that it gives what they call the ka.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
K-A, right? K-A?
Yeah, Ka, the ka and the ba, and you would send out a part of yourself off, and the other part, like of your essence, would either be like held in form, because either you're going to use your body again, you're going to reanimate inside your body again, or you're going to, it's at the passing of your body, so you're not going to be even coming back to your body anymore. So you're going to reanimate into someone else. That's why like they talk about Hermes being like the third one. He's like yeah. He's Thoth again because he knows how to send himself through this system of, not really like losing the cup. So you can always, it's kind of like how we say with the downloads, like you get a download and it's not like it gives you like an actual knowledge. It's not like it's like, 1 and 1 is 2. It's like it gives you the understanding of, this is how math works. And then you can do whatever you want with that. This is just how math works. This is how, this works. Fill that cup with how you would fill your cup. Yeah. And it's kind of like that, being able to, when you would get to that, like what we now could call a checkpoint, a remembrance point, a recall point, you could bring all that back to yourself and be in that, what we would call like an awakening. And you'd, oh, I had all these lives before. I know this and I've known that and I've been through this and I've done through this, and I can live this life because I know how to do this. This is, I've done this before. All these things will always correlate to certain things and line up in certain patterns, and that's how at least I was always seeing how they were always kind of showing these, especially in Egypt, and even in a lot of Hindu systems as well, because they would call these places heavens sometimes, or like lokas, or these different like realms of living, but this is where you would send yourself. This is where you would transport your essence. And the closest connection to these places was like inside yourself, like a part of yourself was how you would dial on your cell phone to get to wherever.
Yeah, that's true right there. You know, within yourself, that's where it is. And you, like you said, that while you dial this stuff in, and you transport yourself there.
Yeah, you get attuned to it. It almost
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like on multiple layers too, because it goes even beyond just being able to access and become an individual to an individual's mind. Oh, you can't do that. You could never, make sure that you're always the water flowing down the stream. But when you're that thing, that's all you're doing. It's you're making the water go down the stream. You're making the life flow and harmonize and connect, and And then sometimes what we would perceive as dark from the individual perspective, like an evil thing, he'll show you how when you're that thing that is bigger than the individual's perspective, that greater picture, how those things entangle. Like it's used to spread more life. Like I was in the woods, and the woods was like, you smoke us to get high, but we also smoke you to get high. We anything that falls into the woods grows up. That's life as well. And where you see that a fallen tree is just a life platform. It's like almost like a god. Like you know how like in those old stories, Tiamat and certain gods of the old would give their bodies and their flesh and their spirit to make all of existence. That's kind of what any body is doing.
That Tiamat, speaking of Tiamat, they was trying to raise her up in that movie I was talking about today. The what you call it again? Because she was
The
inside
Eternals. The Eternals.
Yeah, Eternals. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And they were trying to raise her back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wow. Now, ain't that something though? That she Tiamat was inside the earth, but inside the earth is Amenti, or the underworld.
Yeah. Because the halls are in what you would call the mother's garden.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they say Tiamat was a saltwater dragon that landed here first. It was like Earth was that big Tiamat water dragon.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's the it depending on which system you're coming from. Either like you're trying to conquer this dragon, or you're trying to, ride this dragon. Like being able to like have it take you to these farther reaches to be this, how you would perceive you're going to be the hero.
Like the Earth ship going to the finer realms. But yeah, there's also a Sweetwater dragon.
But even like those places like C was talking about singular with like you'll see places that are completely illuminated. Like you'll be in like a space that is like most of the times it's white. White is most of the time what it is. It's like a completely white space, and sometimes it's like it's like crispy clean, but you don't always see the door. But sometimes you go through a door and then there's hallways that are just that same white clean, but the light is coming out of every part of it in like a way that you can't perceive where there's a light fixture. There's like how like there's no shadow point on anything. Like if you were in a room but there was a light in like the wall or anything, there would still kind of be a shadow point. There's no shadow point.
This reminds me of the last 2 times I tripped with my homie in Colorado. He said this in 2 trips in a row. We were sitting there laying down, traveling, and then all of a sudden he says, "Holy shit." I said, "What?" He said, "It got so bright that I had to open my eyes."
Yeah.
That's I've seen that one too.
Yeah.
I was just like, there's the sun in my brain. I was like,
You'll perceive that you need to open your eyes to get away from this brightness.
Why is the sun in my brain? I'm laying on a beach in my brain. The sun is in my eyes. I'm like, try to open it.
That's another one. The beach. There's this beach. I swear it's on the West Coast. That's where I always
Yeah, I swear that was on the mushrooms too. Just a random part of the trip. flying through hella dimension. Then I'm just on the beach.
So sometimes that shit gets so dark you gotta open your eyes.
Yeah,
But
yeah. When we're talking
sometimes you
about light and dark,
sometimes you try to open your eyes and it don't work.
It don't work.
Yeah, sometimes that
yeah,
gets broken, and you're like, well, I don't know what's going on. You forget that that's even a thing.
Yeah.
I yeah, I love it when I'm in that phase when I closed eyes and open eyes is the same.
Yeah.
That's one of my tests to know how deep I am. Not that I really
Yeah.
need any more tests, but
I like
I
like
want to know
when
who
I
you
like
is.
I
We
like
keep
when
talking about this guy, you.
I'm like when I'm there and it seems like this don't exist. This not even a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
yep,
There's more of this
Like, it's
thing.
absurd to think that this would be a thing at some points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would it
It's even
would
yeah.
hard to imagine until you see it, until you
Well,
go
you
out in the
forget
city
about
or
it.
something.
it'd be
It's like,
like
what's going on?
yeah, they be telling you about this place. You be like, yeah, right. Ain't no where it exists like that. Yeah, right. Stop playing.
Like somebody just mentioned about the test. It can be a test, but how do we end the test? How does run really accelerate through all the levels? Well, you just see it as conditioning and experiences that give you conditioning. That's it.
It's
Hmm.
conditioning for that, just to get in shape, just for the summer. It's not like we're training for CrossFit competition, Olympics. We're just like, the ether's just getting in shape because it's fun. But
Yeah.
then we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
compete if we want, type shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
We
Keep
like the potential
doing
of that.
the Grants and Crescents.
you got to realize you just shadow boxing.
Once you really get that one final move, you get knocked out. You
That
think you finally
and
got
you
him.
and you can knock
that
yourself out
that's
real easy.
Yeah, you got real good at shadow boxing.
Like, ooh, I finally found his weakness.
You ever seen Baki? He's an anime character. He does that. He shadow boxes these like imaginations, and he'll beat himself up. He'll be
Oh,
bleeding and broken limbs at the end of it.
that's what that shit about.
Yeah.
Just a
kind of,
wrinkle in time.
kind of. Yeah,
Oh no, I'm gonna have to go
yeah,
check it out now. Blake always trying to get,
it's
and I watched it with him, but I didn't really pay attention. I think I was playing the game on my phone or something.
yeah. Baki's a fighter who tries to use every, and his thing is his brain gives him another level.
that's
Yeah,
one of my favorite things to do while tripping is closing my eyes and like moving my arms, and I can see them
Yeah,
like
yeah. You
easy.
should you should try taking a
yeah,
just like a martial arts class just so that you can kind of do that and remember it because that's what we would do. Um, I actually would try to do it to the kids too, like turn off all the lights in the dojang and then tell them to close their eyes and move until they can actually see when they're bringing their feet up off the ground and after a while it's like your body is there and it's just glowing.
yeah.
And you're, yeah,
Yeah,
You're not seeing with your eyes no more. You seeing with the true sight,
yeah,
your
yeah.
mind.
Bio.
The
yeah.
true sight is your mind.
Yeah. Because that's all it is. We like make that correlation. Imagine if you could never see your hands, then how would you learn how to use them?
That shit is crazy because you see that on all the little shit though. Even when Snake Eyes was training people, they put them on the blindfold.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta do that thing where certain senses allow yourself to, realize that that sense is kind of coming from somewhere else.
yeah.
It's
Yep.
being projected back out into the world.
That's why the eyelids are an esoteric symbol of darkness.
Yeah.
Yo, don't start getting esoteric on us still.
Haven't
I didn't say that.
True, haven't you done some reviews on blind people tripping?
I think I did one a long time ago. A long time ago.
Yeah,
But
couple
fuck,
years ago
Rob,
maybe.
man, look, I'm telling you, that last experience, bro, that shit was dynamic. Look, the way that I could see inside of my mind and outside of my mind at the same time was fucking whoa. I said, dang, it brought back so many
Yeah,
memories. It brought back so many experiences. That
yeah.
shit was fascinating.
I was telling somebody about your last trip earlier today, and I watched uh, I watched your last two uploads on it. You had a longer one and a short one,
Yeah.
and there was there was a lot more to it than just what you said.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
were
it
picking
was.
up in those videos, you were picking up stuff that you didn't remember initially, and uh, there were some other parts. Uh, there were parts that were missing from those. Like I do remember those blue dots stayed with you for a long time,
Yeah.
whatever that was about.
Yeah. Yeah. They man, them blue dots is like they like a dark but loud blue. And I used to get this eye thing, but then this time, yeah, I get the dots a lot, man. And sometimes I be feeling like I was poisoned.
You said on the blue dots there was some type of pattern too. They kept doing some
Yeah,
type of pattern.
they even sit in a pattern. Like,
Yeah,
but you can't really make it out. Just see the dots.
yeah.
And it's like that shit overlay on everything that you look at. But it was crazy because like I got this little tent thing back there, for the dog, so this when it's raining, the dog can go under when she in the backyard. But bro, the way the swirls was swirling in it and making the gears swirling into the gears and the gears was turning, bro. That shit was so fascinating. It was like the sky wasn't even real. Like, period. The sky wasn't even real. It was like just like the background you got on your computer right now. It was like that.
Bro,
Yeah.
the sky isn't real, bro. I've seen that shit. Like where the clouds aren't real, and you're like the clouds aren't really real, bro.
Yeah, the
Man,
clouds
that
do a
shit
full
wasn't real.
pixelation on DMT though.
It wasn't real, but it was yeah. But
Yeah,
just the
it's
way I could see them different parts of my mind and like these giant like obstacle like things that look like they were like turning different ways, bro. Like it
Those are
was
the
my
cycles I think
mind.
that
It was
Eric
my
is trying to
mind.
tell you about. These
Yeah.
things that kind of seem to be rotating, like almost like Ferris wheels. When you see
Yeah.
yeah,
Like Ferris wheels, what's the one with the horses? They go
yeah,
merry-go-rounds.
merry-go-rounds. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
merry-go-rounds.
Merry-go. Yeah, with that same all that
it.
intricate like design looking stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, and
Oh,
it's
this
that
trip
weird
interlock
came
into each
back.
other.
because you can see it. Like the way you see it, bro, you see it from every angle. You see it from the
It,
bottom, top, every side at one time. It's like you're not
Yeah,
just seeing like looking at it like you looking at a TV. No, you seeing it from like every angle.
I
that fourth
I
deep. Yeah,
You're
I
seeing
just
it
good.
had a
what?
flashback to one part of the trip. Um, I think you were talking to. Were you talking to UL about the gears while
Y-
you were tripping?
Yeah,
Yeah, for a
Yeah.
while he was
So,
talking.
and I remember UL saying, "Are they are they humming or making a buzzing sound?"
Yeah,
And
that
just
noise.
yeah, and just because I don't think at first they were, or if they were, you weren't here. But just at the this is one thing I love about tripping. Sometimes you can just have a thought, or somebody can say something, and boom, there it is.
yeah,
You start hearing it.
yeah. You start to pay attention. Yeah, that's what we was just
Like
talking about with Eric B.
It's
Like
like
the
that quick thing. You just go, look over there, shit.
yeah, you got the
And everything
download.
goes wrong. If
You
you just
already
keep
got the
going,
download. It's
Yeah,
there
you're good.
already. It just needs somebody to make you point at
yeah,
it and look at it.
yeah.
and
That magic wand effect.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
one of the trippiest parts to me during that, when you hop back in, was you when you were able to like see your girl in two places at once.
Oh.
That's when he got in trouble. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, a little bit of trouble. Just like,
Hey, it was,
but
hey, no, it was damn near like my kitchen was a mirror, and one side was on both sides. So I'm talking to her, I'm standing behind her, and I'm talking to her over her shoulder, and I turn around, and I'm still talking to her over her shoulder. So I'm like, wait, what the fuck? How you get over here? Like you was just at the stove, and now you over here at the stove. That shit was crazy. But she was in both places.
Which parallel lady is the one that you were talking to?
Yeah, I remember that because she was like, yeah, you know, something like, I'm that bitch. And I was like, yeah, you are that bitch. And she was like, nigga, don't be calling me no bitch. She's like, but you just said, I just said what you just said. Like, what the fuck? I was confirming it, okay?
Oh man,
Yeah,
we walked
I
into
was
that one.
lit. I was lit, though. I said the mushrooms had me gone because, like,
Yeah,
even when she was talking to me in the room, I was like, literally in two realities at one time. I could see both
yeah,
of them going on at the same time, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, which one should I? Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna just watch both of them.
yeah. Like
Like,
that mirror became another whole place. Yeah, because that's how you were talking. Like, yeah, she's over here talking and saying something, but I don't even know what she's saying because I'm over here watching this.
yeah, I could see this whole other thing going on. Like, damn, it was some shit going on when I was watching the ceiling too. That shit was fucking crazy, bro. It,
Yeah,
it's
I,
wild because I get this pattern, man. It's like almost like some. It remind me of some Egyptian writing, but say if it was written on like a gold like tablet, a long tablet, but it kind of as it goes like to the left, it's like creating itself, but
yeah,
it's all these different writings and patterns and like people and like that look like people, but it's like on it it's black. It's like this black like type writing, and it's just going sideways, and like it's weird because it looks mechanical almost, like it's like like some computer shit made it. And but
yeah,
as it's going and you watching the shit, bro, you seeing you past lives that you didn't live, and seeing this different
yeah.
shit go on that you didn't had experiences in places you ain't never knew, and other people's lives. You seeing it all at one time as you watching this. I don't know what to call it, bro, but it's just yeah, it's fucking crazy as shit. That shit was so crazy, it was dope. That's how crazy it was. It
yeah,
was dope.
it was awesome to
Thank you
get
for
to.
sharing. That shit is crazy. It's hard to even speak on sometimes for me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's wild, bro. Cause
That
you
sounds. It sounds like it was like a dream.
nah nah that shit was beyond that. Cause
Because
it
when
was
you dream,
beyond that.
when I dream, sometimes I dream like I'm in different realities. So that's what I'm saying. Like it
Yeah,
sounds like
when I dream, I dream every night, right? So the dream seems real, but I know it's a dream because it got a different overlayment than this. But this thing, you fully it's like you fully there. It's like
Yeah,
being
immersed.
here. It's like being right here right now, looking at
Yeah,
your wall, and your wall is showing you all these symbols and signs.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's
It,
like that.
it's got a high reality density.
Yeah,
The reality density is like, yeah, sometimes even higher than here. You
yeah,
can imagine you're in
it's
man,
dummy
everybody's
higher than
feeling
here.
fate right now.
It's
It's
dummy
feeling
higher
tight.
than here. That's the thing about it. It's dummy higher than here. And that's what makes it seem like, real if it's not real.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
It
if
Wait,
makes
this
it
is
so
feel
you,
real,
like a dream.
so when you took mushrooms, you were in another, you were able to go to another reality that felt
Yeah, bro.
more real than here.
bro, and Antonio, I was everybody and everything. Like, period. I was everybody and everything at like one time. I'm seeing through the eyes of people, and bro, that shit was fucking crazy. I was the wall. I was everything I was seeing, but it was like I was everybody and everything at one time.
But how
That's
could
what
you conceptualize? Like, how does your brain able to fucking
I
like?
don't know.
it's beyond
I don't.
every concept, bro. It's
That's
just happening and it's real.
it's so
That
much.
don't even make sense
Bro.
though, because it's like you would
There's
literally be all
no
matter
no. All I
and
know is
have all the consciousness of
Look,
every matter. And how would you
look.
even,
on
The
my
the
birthday
bro?
it
way
happened to me,
the
bro.
way, bro. Look, I'm telling you, the way that I seen reality, to me, that was the real way reality was. Like, on so many experiences, even these last ones. And
Yeah.
as I was seeing it, and I'm watching life that looked like a plaque on the wall, I'm asking myself, how the fuck? Why are
I
we making it into something else if this is what it is?
I
Yeah,
know,
why do I
right?
forget
That's
it?
so fun.
Why do I
Bro, when
forget this is what it is?
on my
Yeah,
birthday, I felt like I was at my apartment. I'm like, I know exactly where I'm at right now. I've never been here like this before. Like, I was like, this is where I am. I
yeah,
could see all the alien worlds around. I'm like, even in my neighborhood, in this earth, like,
Yeah.
it's so different.
you
It's the real world, but it's
man,
always
you
like that, really.
look.
But
It's it's
being
almost
everything,
yeah, being everything, bro. You go back to, it seems like you go back to the beginning of time, right? Say when the first thought was thought, and how that thought
yeah,
created another thought that
it
created
goes
another one,
beyond.
and those thoughts were so strong that they can create thoughts that can
Yeah.
create thoughts that can create thoughts that can create thoughts.
When I was rippling through that ether, like being everything, going through the bones of like myself, going through the walls, the floor, like being buildings, like everything I could, and I'm seeing, like you said, like that's how I was describing it when I came out of it, seeing everything
Yeah,
and being
everything.
everything and rippling through it, like the solid parts, the hot, cold, like just every raw element of it.
Yeah. Then you can see all the bubbles in the ocean. That's turning the suds. And then fucking, bro, I'm telling you the shit. It makes sense when you there, but when you come back, you be like, hell
Bro,
no.
I started
Well,
blasting
yeah, when you're
myself
back,
beyond the aperture because I forgot I was almost tripping. I was like, at that point, after being everything, I started seeing it being built from nothing, from so many different
Yeah.
aliens, like conjuring it out of the air, just like, what is it? It's just
Yeah,
flowing in, like
like seeing
mold, and
everything.
spiders and bird
Like
people and shit.
you see why you made your parents, why you made your sister, your brother. You feel me? Which don't make sense, because if you made your brother, he made you his brother.
yeah, yeah,
But you see all that and you understand it to the fullest, and you go, what the, like, it's just like all you can say is what the fuck. Like, every
Yeah, there's
friend
no
I had, every
figuring
person I
that.
looked up to, every teacher that I said was a teacher, all of it. It was like it was just me doing it. It was just me, and then all the bad things that was happening, it was this dark me that was creating that, and he was laughing at the fact that I did not get it. I couldn't grasp it, and he laughing at me, which is the part of him that don't understand it or can't grasp it, and he's like, it was fucking crazy, bro. It was crazy. I had on a dark
Yeah,
hood.
yeah, it was interesting. We actually heard like your thought process through some of that. where
What you
you
mean?
talked about 3 different versions of yourself, and I don't know if it's like the yin yang, dark light, and then the scared. I remember the third one because that
Yeah,
was the one you talked about the most. The third one was the scared version of yourself,
yeah,
and the way you were commenting about that one, it's like I made him so I could fuck with him or something. You
yeah. Just so I
scared
can,
ass.
yeah. With it scary, cause he was scary. So it was like I would do stuff, like have him get high so he can get paranoid on the weed. Do
Yeah, just
shit
so you
just
can
to,
fuck it.
yeah,
Yeah.
just to punk him. It's like what the fuck, like, cause some of the things that we bring upon ourselves, we don't even see that we bring upon ourselves. Because despite what life is going. It's going. But we'll waste our time trying to make sense of why it's going, trying to basically find ourselves, like I said. But we'll try to make sense of it. And then this is where we start to create our fears. Not only our
Yeah.
fears, we create the things that we love and the things that we like, and we create our fears. And some of those fears we use from, like somebody said, from our parents, shit we got from our parents. Like, if you got a child, like I got a child, like I used to scare my kids. I used to just do stuff just to scare them. I don't know why. I used to do that shit. But it's like man, it's yeah. Whoo wee.
But to me,
It's
also
like,
one of the
ooh
beautiful
wee.
parts of that journey was you got to see yourself as a kid,
Yeah, and
right?
that's the
Did you
that's
see
the
yourself
thing.
like riding a bike or something?
Yeah, riding a bike. And this is the crazy thing, Rob, that I'm starting to recognize. Is like now that, like, the more I've been delving in, the more everything is coming back. I don't know what everything is, but it's coming back, like days of my lives and shit that when I was young, different things that happened that shaped my reality and made it what it is now. Why I look at life the way I look at life. It's like I seen every fucking situation I was in, bro. It don't even, I'm telling you, it don't make sense. But it do, because if, like, like we reflect on our lives all the time. But our self-reflection that we reflect on is this illusion that we built, that we said it was. But when you be able to go back and look at it from outside of yourself, you see you was looking at it fucked up. And you just go, oh shit. You feel me? Like, why did I take that like that? Like, it's so simple, but I made this big ass thing about it and said all these different things that it wasn't even that. But that little thing right there, it helped shape the way I looked at everything. So it played a factor in everything I did in my life without even knowing, and all I did was stack on top of it as I went. If you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you were
building
able
what you are
to
now. Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, you were
But
able to fully zoom out. And
Yeah,
because back then in that experience, you were zoomed into it and you didn't get to see the big picture,
yeah,
but you got to see the big picture on this last journey.
yeah, and it's wild because, like, I heard him talking about death, and I was like, death is like the ultimate breakthrough, because you get to step outside of yourself, like when I the time when I did the DMT in the backyard, and I was able to pop out of my body and look at my body there and see all the shit I was storing on my computer. I was able to see everything that I stored in that motherfucker, and it was just a motherfucker. It was just a pile of worries. Worried about bills. Worried about if I'm gonna be saved. Worried about this. Worried about life. Worried about my kids. Worried about. It was a pile of worries. But being outside of it, I felt so free because I didn't have to carry none of that shit no more. It was like done. It was like, oh, okay, damn. Like, whoa, I built all that up over time. I carried all that and I walked around and I gave it to other people.
yeah, you built all this stuff up and from most of the time, you were carrying other people's stuff too. Like, why do y'all
Yeah,
look carry this weird stuff? Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, just to be a worry, just to be a
just
situation.
to be a worry. And to worry about things that I ain't got to worry about. I shouldn't have to worry about or deal with. Like, I deal with, but I'm saying I ain't got to worry about it because I know what's going to happen is going to happen. Life is going. It's going, but that's that control. That's why I be like, we be wanting to control every situation, every moment, which you are. But you doing it in a chaos like type of manner because it's chaos at its finest. Like we sit here talking, I don't know, somebody loading the truck up over there, it seemed like, or something. I'm like going, it's chaos at its finest.
Yeah, it's always in the flow of itself.
In the flow of itself. Everything. Everything. The ants, the bugs, all of them everything is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And we don't like that shit. It's the,
It's not what you experienced is not too complicated.
yeah, it's not.
It's what you experienced. I've experienced that before. I know exactly what you're talking about. What I define that as, you had the first perspective seat with source. Okay, when I experienced that, it was like I was everyone and everything at the same time. I knew what everybody was talking about on this dimensional plane, if not all, and all the
Yeah.
conversations were known because source not only can see but knows everybody's conversation and is responding. So basically, you went into sources, what I define first perspective seat, experience of sources, core, where sources running the whole show, God, right? So what you were comprehending, you comprehended everything perfectly. It's just it can't be put into words. I know that experience you had was a first perspective of source unification.
Oh damn, Martha.
Maybe one day we shall get there, but I don't know if it's our seat there. Maybe
Man,
it's just an
see,
experience to show us.
yeah, but look, I'm telling you, like if you've been there and you realize you was everything, then you know you already there. You
Yeah.
there. It don't take nothing to get there because you there. So each state that you desire is something that you're making yourself saying, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to experience. This is what I want to see. You creating the states as you go. And you defining them and saying which ones are better than others. So you still like you're putting out the experience that you desire to have
So I'm
as
gonna
you
ask you a
go.
question. Did you enjoy that state where you just were everyone and everything and had an organized
I
perception of
was
everything happening?
I was scared as shit. As every time when I go in that state, I'd be scared as a man. I'm telling you, I'd be hella scared because it's like it's wicked. It seems wicked to me from my back how I was raised and what I was taught. It seems wicked to me. So every time I go into that state, it's a part of me. It's a part of me that it seems wicked to, but then it's another part of me. I understand the different aspects of myself. So each aspect, I don't just let one take over and say, "Oh, this is what it is," and I run with that. No, I listen to the scary one. I observe the one that understands it, and then I observe the one that's like, I don't know. I don't just accept one of them. So I look
Did you
at
ever
I
have
look at it through the eyes of all of them.
did you ever have that experience where there wasn't fear, where you're actually, hey, this is pretty cool. This must be what source is actually processing all the time.
Yeah, yeah, many a
Yeah,
times, and it feel natural. Like when you
exactly.
I had times where I became everything and it felt natural. It was just like, oh, this is what you do. This is what you do. You just don't know that you do it.
So you got the anti-perspective too of the dark version of source where you define it was all fear and chaos, and then the other one was basically serene and calm, and you're like, this is what source is and does.
Yeah,
So you got
yeah.
both
It's like
both
it's all
you
of it. It's all of it. Yeah, it's
you got
all of it.
both
That's why I
you
always
got
say it. It's the dark and the light.
yeah
Cause
you got the
source is
experience
source. It don't
you
matter
got the
what you. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
you got to experience both versions, the dark anti-version of Source and what I define the luminary version of Source, the dark and the light. So that was cool.
Yeah, yeah. You see both of them because like Rob, like I've seen Anubis before, and I went through all man, I went through all the gods, and one by one they were shaking their head yes and no like Eric B. Until I got to Anubis, and Anubis said, "Yes, okay. I'm gonna show him my aspect or whatever his version of whatever was." And it was like I could see the dark side, and I understood it. I understood it to the fullest because, like, when we look at people doing bad, we look at it like, "Oh, they doing bad. They just terrible, and they just did." No, certain people come here and they play a part in the story in order to make things to help keep things what they are, to keep things going. There's certain people that was pointed out to play that part and be that bad thing in order to show you how evil this shit can be. And then there's certain people that's pointed out to show you how good it can be.
Yeah. Like you defined, you actually traveled to some dark places where it's natural to do, like dark things. It almost
Yeah.
comes like next to instinct. Yeah.
Yeah, like now, like even when I like on a daily basis, bro, when I go and I watch shit, I don't just go and just watch a gang of Terrence McKenna and you feel me and all the philosophers. When I watch them, I go and I watch the serial killers too. I make sure I go and I
Yeah.
watch them because I'm going, God
Yeah.
damn, some people don't give a fuck about that shit that you believe. Your belief system
Yeah.
to their universe is nothing. And we go, that's not okay, but it is okay because it's happening. So I have to be aware of that side also. I'm not one of those people, but I'm just saying I want to know how the fuck they think also.
Yeah. Get the
Yeah.
experience of everything.
Yeah, of everything because serial killers, the shit, they get off on doing the shit.
Yeah,
They
it's
get,
like normal to them. It's like you
yeah,
know what? It's like they're fractured into a certain dimension where they shouldn't be, and it's almost like natural, normal to them to do what they do.
yeah. But if we look at a tiger attacking another tiger because it's in its territory, or just killing another tiger's babies, we go, oh, that's nature. Like this is nature too. Or like all of it is nature.
A separation where humans started.
Yeah, yeah. But all of it is nature. Nothing is not nature. Nothing has not. Ain't shit fell out the sky and fell on this planet and said, build a computer out of this. We took the materials from here and we made that. We took all the materials we got from here in order to create the things that we have: computers, washing machines, all the shit.
Wait, so let me ask this: do we have free will? Because of like those serial killers, are they choosing to be serial killers, or is it
It's a
source
it's a part
source
of
source making them do it?
it's a part of the program. It's just
It,
look, this shit is flowing a certain way. Nobody's gonna stop that. Nobody, down to the smallest fucking organism, is eating the next organism. Nobody is
once
gonna
again,
stop that flow.
once again, it returns to like a video game. When you define as their free will, well, it's like playing a role-playing game. You come across the NPC character that's going to give you information. So, is there free will? Well, there's choices, and one acts upon the choice, makes a decision, and goes this way or that way in the video game. I'm using the analogy of the character, say, a first perspective, first person real player is playing the game, and this killer had options. He arrives to this character in the video game that gives information. That's basically could be the dark version of Source or the luminary version, and then that character, the NPC version of Source, gives somebody information. You can go this way, you can go that way, you could do this or that. So there is a free will of choice, but from my understanding, it's within a guided path of choices. So eventually, we all get home. Because if there was no guidance, I assure you, we probably never make it home. So it is a type of structure within choices to the levels. You can go this way or that way, do this or that, light
Yeah.
or dark, etc.
Yeah, it's weird because in this life, tell the truth. If you do something wrong, who you get punished by?
Yourself.
Yeah, and the people. The people that's telling you, hey, that's wrong. You don't get punished by no outside source. You get punished by the ones that are here that's on this motherfucking plane going, you killing each other, we killing each other is not right.
Well, but what if you're trying to do good? I feel like you get punished for even trying to do good.
I mean, you know, maybe
It's
it's your
the
Yeah.
good. Your good might not be good.
yeah, that's the perspective. It's your good.
Yeah, it's your good.
Or it could be the opposing forces. You do good, you get punished because they want you to do bad. And then if you do bad, you're getting punished by the good side because they want you to do what is good. So it's like a polarity
It's not
reality, a
even.
polar
So then
reality.
it's not even. It's just about control. Then there is no good or bad. It's just control. It's a fucking control mechanism.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, it's a
Yeah, when
control
you think about
mechanism.
it, it is because they'll go, hey, you know, y'all can't kill each other on the street. But when we go to war with that other country over there, we gonna need a few good men that are killers that don't give a fuck about life. Like
Yeah, no
Antonio,
doubt. Yeah, man.
strap this bomb to yourself, and we need you to run into this building. It's like all in the name of what we call God.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Do
believe.
it for your country, everybody. Just do it for your country.
And God made your country just like He made everything else. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, if that this perspective that was just represented really reveals
Yeah.
the polar state of reality.
I can't see how like the true source, could actually make that kind of. Because I feel like it's just fucked up states of consciousness, like consciousness that's been. Because I feel like maybe our consciousness has been hijacked, and we were once all like at peace and everything was chill.
Yes,
Wait,
until the darkness
You mean
spawned.
like just
yeah,
not like aware of it?
What?
yeah,
So
that sound.
so the question
We
is,
weren't aware of the concepts that we've come up with that have kind of built on these layers that now make us feel like there's no peace.
Yeah, man. Every time you step outside and you step on dirt, you walking on death. Everything that
Mhm.
didn't came before us,
Yeah.
we
And it's
call them.
become a new layer of what's going to come after us.
Yeah, we call them dirt. We just
but
call
is
it
it really dirt? Is it really dirt though?
like we call it dirt, and then we take them though, because that when you think about it, we take them, we form concrete and some more shit with them. That's just so
You
they
take a,
always changing their form. I don't know why.
yeah, these potentials is because that's all it is. There's these things that can become different form.
Yeah, everything. Because there's nothing, like when you think about it, there's nothing coming from outside of this. Like everything that we forming is from things that live, trees that lived and then produce other trees, uh, other shit that then lived and then produced other shit. And then we forming shit out of that shit that's just been around for so long that, it changes its form. And then we know that the same way this shit works is the same way our thoughts and our minds work. It's like it's no different. It's the same pattern network to me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I was saying earlier. Like, that's why we're always like taking how our minds work and how this thing works from how like our imagination perceives it and
Yeah,
just displaying it all over everywhere.
everywhere.
Even when we build it, it's just built on the way that this thing's built up.
Just the way my mind's seeing reality tonight, I'm just on the side, like reflecting on it. It looks like a fairy tale. Like, how does this even, all this magic exist? Like, this is sweet. This is sour. This is this. Like, who are these people with these words?
It's a part of
I
the
think we
network.
should be.
You just that one blood vessel that figured it out and said, "Hold on, I ain't following the path to this heart no more."
I'm
I'm
a white
about to.
blood cell. I gotta go over here to this infection. I don't see it. Keep
Yeah, I'm
going,
doing
though.
some different shit.
The older blood vessels, like, yeah, that's just your rebellious stage, young blood vessel.
Like one day you will learn in the scab on the knee.
Same pattern. I said
You
we build the streets. We build the streets like our veins and shit, and we run through it like blood vessels.
Yeah, to keep the
Going back and
flow of the
forth to
city's
keep
life
the
going.
yeah to keep the flow.
You know, I just had this thought about like serial killers. Uh, they're trying to understand their mindset. They might they might just not take life seriously. That's one perspective. That it doesn't matter if you live or die. Number two, they might just be seeing what they can get away with. And
Yeah,
so we can all grasp that because think about GTA.
yeah,
You hop in GTA, and at some point in the early stage of the game, there might be a line standing outside the club, and you just run over all of them or throw a
all
grenade
of
at
them. Lay them
Yeah.
all down.
Uh, yeah.
Then go back
Put
and
in a
check they.
situation where you can get away with it. Would you do it? Yeah.
them. Yep.
Hey, then you go back
Just
But
and
then
to,
you gotta
collect all the
realize,
money. You go back
you know
collect
what it
all the
is,
money
too?
they dropped.
Like when you're a
No,
kid
bro.
and
If
you
if
haven't
you
felt
thought
as much
about life
pain
as a
before.
video game for real, like every day, yeah, you totally be down to kill people, no doubt.
But
Yeah,
then once you really start to smell the cosmic suffering for yourself,
but when you think about it, it's like like say if life was just ran off programs, that's just part of one. That's just one of the programs. It's just one of the weird ass programs that's going on. Because you would think, because we always say we supposed to learn from your mistakes. Then you see a motherfucker like I seen a motherfucker. He police pulled him over. He got in the high speed. He shot at the police. They took him to jail. Gave him a high ass bail. He bailed out. This motherfucker got out. Did the same shit again.
Yeah.
And they gave him a bail again, and he bailed out again, and then he did it again, and they shot him and killed him finally. But I'm just saying, some
Yeah.
people just don't work with the same so-called program you have. Everybody's not
because a
on
lot of
Windows.
people like in the world are not looking to do what's right. What like they might not care if they hurt someone else. They might not even look at it. They're just looking away. They're doing what they're doing.
Well, yeah, that I
Yeah,
mean
they
that
right
explain.
is not. They right is what they was doing. They thought was right. If the police try to pull me over, I'm finna shoot it out with their ass. I'm a motherfucking killer. You got me fucked up. You think Billy the Kid think he was
They-
doing something wrong when he was being Billy the Kid? Hell no, I'm the fastest gunslinger in the West. I'm shooting up everything. What you say to me? They be right in their own. Hitler felt like he was right in his own mind.
Yeah.
But there's that shadow of a doubt. The
Bro, Hitler
devil's
was
advocate
right.
is watching you.
Man, it's that shadow of a doubt when you go fill out that job application and think you ain't gonna get that job. Man, I don't think you gonna have to do like Khan. You're gonna have to do the prayer hands. I see you over there praying. I pray to God too.
I'll pray with you. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's get together and start doing this and make it a church.
And make it to church. I'm just saying. Like,
Because that's all people did. Yeah.
As long as I
yeah.
can get some class.
Yeah, I know he had doubt. I know he had doubt because he wouldn't have killed himself. He wouldn't have went out like that. And then that's probably a lie. I said because every big motherfucker gotta have some old dope ass death.
Yeah, the remember is there.
Yeah, because Jesus came
Remember
back.
me.
Yeah, Jesus came back and said, "Hey, y'all, that shit y'all did to me wasn't cool."
What if he does come back and he decides to take a different path?
Man, Jesus then came back a gang of times. Nobody would listen to him though. No, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit, Jesus. We heard it already. You said it different. We understand it this way. Je- Jesus came back many different ways.
Yeah, sure has.
Yeah, because that energy of whatever that thing is, it came back with many different names, and it still is, because we just call it, we don't call it Jesus no more. We call it preacher, or we call it pastor,
Or guru, or
or guru. We just put different names on it. Oh damn, yeah, the guru. That shit is crazy.
but this is kind of what we've always done with that energy. When anybody attunes to that thing where they're gonna be like, "Hey, I've kind of done these measures, and I'm gonna tell you about this system." That's all they're all just tuning into that same thing.
They start getting
Yeah,
real high and they start glowing. They got a certain glow to them, and other people like
yeah,
to smile with them. They're like, "This is fun. We're vibing right now." Like Jerry Garcia and them. And then we'll
yeah.
be like, "I bet." Then we'll be like, "You should just feed him. Give him extra food because he's the vibe now." 6,000. I'm like, all right, give him some weed, give him everything, and
Give him
robes and shit. Let
everything.
him
Did give
feed.
him a
Yeah,
robe.
you
Give
want to
us,
keep him doing that thing. Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
that's
give
got.
right.
us talk. Give us that, do that old thing you do, like be an old man and be like, "I'm your father. I
And they
got the
try to.
wisdom."
That's what I say. And they try to talk about drugs. Like that
Vibe
shit
master.
is a drug. It's
Exactly.
like what the
What,
fuck?
fla-
Like we gonna give him
what
every
flashed
day.
in my head of
Yeah,
Your Father is that Darth Vader scene. No.
yeah, you're
Guru, I am not your father.
right. And all he doing is leading you to yourself.
He's like, "I don't
Yeah.
want nothing to do with
I'm
you.
telling you, I'll
Once
never
you meet
forget
me,
that. When I
that's your
seen
last
mother,
mistake."
when I seen Mother Ayahuasca, I was shamans giving ayahuasca to other people, introducing them to me, which was Mother Ayahuasca, which was just they self.
Yeah.
And I don't know, bro. That shit is crazy though, because it's a loop. It's a loop back to you, and how that even makes sense. That fucking shit fucks with me every day. Every day. But I understand it. Even though I understand it, I go, God damn, we ain't gonna catch up. You can't catch up to yourself. You too goddamn fast for
Yeah,
yourself.
plus you know all your moves.
You know all your moves.
You came up with your moves. You're like, yeah, let me come up with this. This was gonna be sweet.
Yeah, this gonna kill myself. Watch.
Yeah, what? What? I swear I had
Dragon
it
meat.
too. I'm gonna swear I had it.
Yeah, yeah. You come up with all the moves. Like even on that Wakanda, that last fucking Black Panther, UL when they gave her, remember they gave her the purple shit, and they
Oh yeah.
said, wait, hold on, what about burning candles and incense? And then she was like, she looked at them like, man, fuck all that shit, just give me the shit and let me go.
Yeah. The
Like my
ritual
mama
is, you know.
died, yeah, you cause everything is this ritual.
Yeah,
And you, the ritual is what you do in order to get the power of the thing that you're trying to get. So you put the energy outside of yourself in something else in order to receive it back.
yeah, yeah. That's what I was talking about. That shining that getting the light to shine on you, so that you can reach back and shine the light back on it.
Yeah, back on it.
On Rich the Kid and then
Yeah, Rich the Kid. Man, my lifestyle. You don't know, hey, Theo, this was my first all my shroom trips in the beginning when I was listening to that lifestyle, Rich the Kid and Young Thug.
the mushrooms in me just made me call it out to your mind.
I said the thing that tripped me out about the mushrooms is everybody that I used to listen to their song, like I've been going to their concert. Like that's the part that's fucking retarded. And it's like I ain't paid for
Bro,
not. I ain't
for
paid for
real.
not one of them yet.
It's tricky, bro.
I ain't paid for not one yet, but I'm going. It's like, what the
Exactly. Don't
fuck?
pay for Billy
Yeah,
Jean.
you put yourself in their world. Now you're in their world.
Yeah, but that's that. That's that uncontrolled. I got a name for it already. It's called uncontrolled manifestation.
That's that
Yeah,
You
butterfly.
you
yeah, the
manifest
strongest
shit.
kind.
It's
Yeah,
Yeah, the
bringing that
strongest
rainbow
kind.
dragon, man. That sky dragon.
It's the strongest kind. The uncontrolled manifestation.
That's a new overlayment right there. You said uncontrolled?
Yeah, when you talk about something to somebody and then it happened, and you be like, wait, what the fuck?
It's that reality.
Or you see something.
Spontaneous
We
Spontaneous
co
when
creation.
I was like in this the one experience, it was like how all those synchronicities were just so like that other side is like using all that. Like, okay, I'm gonna set this up to set this up, and then even like before, like you know how like you're gonna go, man, if I just had something in my pocket that I could use to reach this thing, and then you reach down in your pocket and there's something there.
Yeah.
It's like sets it up even into your past and way out into your future, and it's just like all yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's
It's,
I
why they
do that
called
all
it
the
faith
time.
in the past.
yeah.
Faith. Cause you'll be like me, I'll be like, where my phone at? I'll look all over for my phone, go out to the car, come back in the house, and then just be like, fuck it, and sit down on the couch and put my
Yeah,
hands on the couch and my hand go right on
yeah,
top
your
of my phone.
antidepressants.
And I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
that radiation speed in reality, like your body, everything's already there, like, but it's you.
Yeah.
That radiation speed is up to par with centrifugal gravity.
Yeah, I don't know. The shit is
The magnetic ratio. I don't even know what that all is, but
magnetic what?
a geomagnetic ratio.
A geomagnetic ratio.
Seem like the right words.
I
Just
don't know what you
reality.
look. I don't know what you said, but I get it, though.
Yeah,
I get it now. Hell yeah.
it's a magnetic storm out here in the ether sometimes, every day.
Yeah, but it's crazy once you start
you just keep
recognizing
going
the
things
patterns.
radiate.
And like even the personas that people play. Hey, the personas that people play is just I think that's the part that gets me. That should be dope as shit. But it'd be funny at the same time. It
Just
do.
because you get in the costume room now, so you know
Yeah.
what costumes people gonna put
Yeah.
on.
And it's like they put on that costume, you be like, God damn, you playing that part good as hell. I ain't even gonna hold you. You playing it
Yeah,
good.
Couldn't hold you. I tried. It's
Yeah.
really good. It's
When they
perfectly
put
flawed. Seamless.
but you won't
when
be able to break them out of that
It's, uh,
character for nothing.
hell
you
no,
swear
you
that
will
it's
not. You will not
you
be
know
able
how
to break them.
reality's always realitying itself because you're there. You're like, I see through everything here, and then you're like, you start talking to like an inanimate object or like a person. You're like, yeah, see how everything here is. And then you're, wait, you're.
Yeah.
I see how you're
Yeah.
It's
made
the
too,
same thing
motherfucker.
with like
Wait,
what we would call
you look at
inanimate objects.
yourself. You look at everything.
I see
Look,
you, chair, playing that role of a chair
playing
to
that
it.
role of a
Do
But
chair.
then sometimes you
do
forget because you're sitting on the chair, so you're like, oh yeah, everything else is fake, but this chair and me. And wait, you look
Hey, when
down.
you get
Thanks for holding me up.
when you get raw with it, you see the characters and you just play it with them. Like
Yeah,
fuck. Oh, you a
Yeah,
police?
man.
Okay, I'm not gonna be a police, but I'm gonna recognize that you are a police. Okay,
Not
I
gonna be
recognize
you.
that you are the authority of whatever you are. You feel me?
Gonna
Oh,
be
you a
like
manager?
somebody that works in some other field. I'll be like, hey, oh, you work in that field? Oh, all right, cool. I'll be that type of
it,
colleague to you.
Yeah,
I'm
that,
like,
yeah,
that's
cause
the only character I can play to
and
you.
that's when you know which essences to play against other ones. Like, oh crap, police. Let me not play gangster because when I played gangster in the past, that one didn't work
yeah,
out
that
too
one
good.
didn't work. You feel me?
Because then sometimes you want to play a little extra when he's like right there, just to be like, watch out.
Yeah,
Smoke,
Yeah.
spark a blunt up, and just do some foul.
It's like
Lightning.
let me recognize you so you recognize yourself.
yeah.
The only way you can keep your hands clean in the ether, it's like it seems like if you teach someone a lesson, that'll teach them. But
Hey,
really, that'll just make
that'll
it seem
teach
like
you.
you're doing something for no reason. Same way if you do a dog or a cat, you do a person, it's like, wow, that person's evil. They must just be hating.
Yeah.
But then if you really just don't do anything, say
Mm.
anything at all, it's like they'll know exactly everything. Both of our minds will quantum calculate it, and they'll be like, "Oh, I was wrong," or whatever it was.
That's how my grandma used to play them. She'd be quick to do. Oh yeah, I see you, Mr. Officer. You doing your
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
Yeah. Like from an officer to a homeless person. Oh, you homeless? Oh, I see you. Here go 50 Cent. Here go 50 Cent. I see you. You homeless, right? Yeah, okay, damn. Oh, you the boss? Oh, you want me to do okay, all right, you know. Oh, you a UPS worker? Oh man, it's hot today, huh? Yeah, I see you out on them short pants. Yeah.
Mhm.
UPS worker.
Do
Oh, you
your
want me to say hello? Okay, have a good day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like fuck it. They, cause
Some people will look at you the way they want to be looked at. Some people are
And
like,
then that's what
a big
makes
old
them feel good
smile.
too. They're like, "Ooh, this guy,
That's
man,
their language.
he was really nice to me today.
yeah, he was
Saw me
really,
doing my
man,
thing, and
complimented me and everything. It made me
It's like
feel
that
good.
body language. But sometimes when people really
Hey,
get caught
hey, you
slipping,
guys, you guys know who Steve Nash is?
Yeah.
I fucking seen Steve Nash at my gym, bro. He was at the gym. He like walked
he on
in, and
steroids.
I just got done squatting. I went over to go do some other fucking machine, and I'm walking by, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, that looks just like Steve Nash. And then I get closer, and I'm like, holy fuck! And I just like put my arm out and I dapped him up. I was like, what up, Steve? And I
Yeah.
was like, holy shit, it's Steve
Yeah,
Nash.
Steve
Like,
Nash. Dallas Mavericks, and who else he had played for?
no, Phoenix Suns,
Phoenix
Phoenix Suns.
Suns, yeah.
He's
No, he played for a couple of teams though.
Well, he
Nash
was
was
with the
raw.
Suns for the longest time. Like that's where he I don't know if he ever
I
won a
I
championship, but
think
he's a
he
Hall of
left.
Famer.
I think he left and came back, if I ain't mistaken. Let me see. I think he left
I
and
thought
came
that was
back.
dope as fuck
Hell
because I
yeah,
was
Steve
like,
Nash was raw as shit, bro. He one of the best that ever did it. Like, yeah, that's lit.
it was fucking dope. And he yeah, he was super chill too. Like so like super chill. And I was just like, no, everybody else in the gym, like they wouldn't they don't even recognize him. I'm like, bro, it's fucking Steve Nash. What the hell? And yeah, because like when I was a kid, I used to collect basketball cards and like play 2K and shit. So I knew who the fuck Steve Nash was.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve Nash used to come to my dispenser.
But
Nah,
yeah,
this
like
guy that
he
looked
had
just
long
like
hair.
Steve
See,
His
Nash.
hair,
yep.
his
See,
hair.
look from '96 to '98, he played for the Phoenix Suns. '98 to 2004, he played for the Mavericks. Then he
I
played for
swear,
Phoenix and he played for the Lakers. Yep, I remember all those.
his clone came to my dispensary back in the day. This
He
dude looked exactly like him.
he
That's
was his
Steve
name though.
Nash, though.
Yes. He I think he retired from the Lakers though. Steve Nash was fast, had 3 pointers. Yeah. Yeah, shot, everything.
He retired from retiring from the Lakers, though.
Man. You can get no pictures?
No, well, he goes to my gym, so it's like I'm probably gonna see him again. And yeah, I mean, like he lives out here, so it's not like I'll probably run into him again.
You ain't tell him about true life stories and DMT and stuff. I know you only had a few moments, but I figure it'll come up in conversation.
In conversation.
Bro, I was just so like I was just like
It's
because
like
at first I
time.
thought it was just gonna be somebody that looked like him, and then then it was actually Steve Nash. Because like it's when I got closer to him, and I was like, "Holy shit, no, that's Steve!" And I was like, "What up, dude? Like, what the fuck?" And yeah, he was just like, "Yeah, I'm uh, I was like, well, I asked him, I was like, you still shoot around, like, because there's a basketball court there. I was like, you ever shoot around? He's like, no, I don't anymore because my body's not, acclimated to it. So he just like, was like working out, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, I
He
fucking,
said, I'm
I
working
fucking
out with
stuck.
Steve Nash.
Yeah, it's dope as fuck, yo. I was like, what the hell? Uh, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me though, because the gym I go to is like pretty like
Like, you still say, oh, you decided to stay in Phoenix, huh?
oh no, yeah, I never left, bro.
I mean,
Snatching off them steeds.
well, AZ decided to stay in Arizona. I mean,
No, I mean I didn't stay. No, I left and then I came back.
yeah,
But yeah, no, I mean I live like I don't live in Phoenix. I live in Paradise Valley. So it's a nice it's a nice spot. So yeah, it didn't surprise me to see him like at my gym, but like once I thought about it like after, but then I was just like I probably passed by so many fucking like multi millionaires and billionaires that like I wouldn't even know. Like they may have been famous at one point. I don't even know who they are. But I mean, of course, like for me though, I recognize Steve Nash because it's
yeah.
fucking like Steve
It's
Nash. I
Steve
know.
Nash. This is like it's Steve Nash. Probably still look the same.
Yeah, he looks just like same face, just different hairstyle.
Yeah.
How much was he squatting on the bar though? Like just on some real shit.
Can't
No,
squat like that no more.
he
Can't squat like he
Nah,
he
used
no
to.
just walked
judgment.
in and
From a gym bro to a gym bro, that's deadly. No judgments. We don't do that. Hello.
he went and got a band and was just like uh using a band. He had just walked into the gym and I was like because there was only a few people there, and so when he I didn't see him walk in, but then like I realized somebody new was in the gym because and then I seen his face, and then I was like, that looks like Steve Nash, and I was gonna just mess with him and be like, you look like Steve Nash, and then I fucking just like Steve, what the hell?
You was
Just
Uh,
for the record, he could have been squatting like 650 or something. Who knows?
yeah, you was
He's Steve
starstruck.
Nash.
You was scar
no, I
struck.
mean it wasn't even a starstruck thing because I I was like I didn't ask him for a picture. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like I just thought it was so cool because
He's
you
Steve
know
Nash. I mean,
yeah
shit.
like it was just like
Steve
it was just
Nash.
yeah because like I said when I was a kid like fucking Steve Nash, bro. Like I don't know because I don't really follow basketball now, but you know it's yeah, it's just like seeing somebody cool that you fucking just like you would like it's just the randomest person too, like Steve Nash, like what the
Yeah,
fuck. So yeah, and no, I was just saying that because like I was relating that to what you were saying, how like people that are playing parts and stuff, and it's like Steve Nash is like Hall of Fame basketball player in this reality, but like in
yeah,
another
he got
reality, he could be like a Hall of Fame like or like he could be whoever, astronaut, whatever.
Olympic squatter.
yeah. I'm about to perfect squat and get up out of here, man. I didn't even know it was this late. God damn, it's 12:15. I'm tripping.
Daylight savings.
Yeah, I should have been asleep.
I saved hella daylight just now. I'm tired.
Yeah, me too. I'm burnt. It was a dope talk though.
Yeah, very
Uh,
good.
Yeah, very good.
really
Keep
opening up an ether dimension.
all the time. It seemed like
Yeah.
all the time we keep that shit open.
Seems like a new one, but obviously.
Yeah. Well,
It's always
obviously,
new, but
Guess the ways we get there is new. Whatever's
yeah,
culturalizing
yeah.
lately, building up in this life or body.
New bodies, new thoughts, new mind, new world, new
Robots,
reality.
new sky, new colors, new smells. The embraces weren't this warm before.
Yeah,
using those new
all right.
chemistry too.
Dr. Smiley, UL, Just Ty, Rob, Eric B, Astronaut Antonio, Alley Cat. All right, I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow.
Whenever,
Tomorrow.
bro. See you.
Oh dang, yeah, and thanks everybody for stopping by. Yeah, that was an enlightening.